Hey guys, we're going live, and we are live, but we're still gonna get you a countdown anyways.
Do it.
Come on, do it. Tell me.
It's taking so long.
Do not
Is this
come.
thing going slow?
It feels like it is.
I feel slow. Maybe I am slow.
As I suspected, 32 flavors.
Try the sauce. I'm soaked in it.
Oh, I could lick you all day long.
That's my opinion!
Hello, everybody. It's Toxic Tuesday, the 45th episode, and this one's Rocky 3. Thank you guys all for being here. I appreciate it. You guys were sounding off in the comments like there was no tomorrow, and I appreciate that. And thank you guys for the patience in waiting. Obviously, I moved to 9:05 the last minute, but even then, we're still late. Obviously, most of you know I was on Midnight's Edge After Dark. Great stream, by the way. It was really good having Gary and Brosha on. So really, really good show. Check out the
other
replay
Gary,
if
not
you
me.
somehow have it. Yeah, the not this Gary down here. Not Jerry. Not
Spelled
Jerry.
differently.
Yeah, there is a difference. This is Jerry here. So, yeah, I thank you guys for coming on over. And before I acknowledge the panel, I'll acknowledge the wonderful faces in the chat. Vince Womack, Brian Yoder, the lovely Sherry, Mr. Tickle Trunk, D. Bud, Martin, Dr. Dragon, the Peter Vigman fan site. Hey, all. Just Joe 47, I'm going to bust you up. You guys in the comments. I love it. And deleted scenes. How are you, sir? Nice to see you here as well. Guys, welcome to the show. I do appreciate it. So, Gary, not Jerry.
It's Geary.
Geary of the Pop Culture Minefield. Sir, it's been 2 weeks, mostly, besides a few messages in our group. How you been, sir?
Me, I'm doing great. I see some of my posse is here in the chat. That's cool.
The posse, yes.
Mr. Tickle Trunk, Sherry. She knows that she's my online crush, so she sticks around because she knows she's getting a lot of love from me.
Yes. All right. No, hey, dude. As always, man, love having you on here. You've become a fantastic addition to this toxicity. And
I don't know. I don't think Mark and I
back.
get along.
I get along with everyone. What you talking about, Willis?
He's a fool. He's a fool. And don't pity that fool. I'm just saying, do not pity.
Oh, and deleted
that
scenes here
fucking
too.
fool.
But I pity the fool.
Oh, yeah. We're gonna play that 100 times tonight. You know it. You know it's gonna happen.
Nothing makes me more angry than people who abuse children.
Oh, Mark, how you
Hey.
doing, sir?
Yeah, awesome. I'm prepared tonight. I got my Baracus shirt,
Oh, neat.
Oh.
van rentals, So Mr. T does not like to fly. So as we're saying before the show, is the most drugged guy on TV, right? Every time the A-team
Every
had to go
episode.
somewhere, yeah, they had to fly, and Murdoch had to take him somewhere. So yeah, I just love this movie. Love Mr. T. Love Thunderlips. Yep.
Oh yeah, I cannot wait to talk about that. No, it's there's so much fun about this movie and emotion and power to this. I feel like it's an underappreciated threequel, but we'll get into that shortly.
Yeah.
Because it's just fucking awesome. But Red Shirt, what's up, buddy? You live?
No,
There he
live, having issues here tonight, but it is great to be here, and I'm looking forward to talking about this, the third installment in the Rocky saga.
Yes, it's gonna be huge. Well, Red Shirt, as always, I mean, you're one of us now. So it's basically like, yeah, you're one of us. So as long as you want to come on, man, you just show up and you're in. So always a pleasure to have you on, and glad you are here. And now we gotta bring on the other face. You guys know him. You love him. He's been here for most of the shows. Even changed his life around for the show. Sorry, folks. That was a very hard sneeze to hold in. I couldn't mute fast enough. But 70s rock fan, how are you, sir? He's muted. Okay, we're all fucking up tonight. Fuck it, we're all fucking up.
We're just a bunch of boomers.
He's still going. I think he's doing this on purpose. No, he's doing this on purpose.
All right, just go see Top Gun that 70s, yeah.
Yeah, he knows what he's doing. He's fucking with us. I thought these guys were fucking with me before the stream. No. 70s is one fucking with us
You're
all.
still muted. 70s.
You're still muted. 70s.
All right,
bollocks. Okay, I'll talk.
But I missed all those awesome things you said about us.
It was the most insightful commentary you will ever get about this movie. But
that's the greatest intro he's ever done, folks.
Gone.
Best.
That was like a guitar solo in Bohemian Rhapsody. Vocally,
the intro that got away. The intro that
I'm
got
doing
away.
all right,
Remember
mate.
that.
So you know.
Well, I'm glad to have you back, sir. I'm glad to have
having me.
My pleasure. I'm glad to have the boys assembled for another episode of greatness. And of course, I acknowledge the other few faces who show up since saying, Cal L. What's up, Cal L? Phantom Outsider.
Yeah, where's
Dr.
Mad Mardigan?
Dragon.
Is he coming tonight?
I don't know. And of course,
know
the amazing Hungry Boy. Hot pity the boomer. What's up, Hungry Boy? How you doing? I don't know what Matt is. I hope
he's probably hanging out with the ladies, or he's at Top Gun again, probably, right? Watching the volleyball scene.
No,
shitting on some other movie we love.
Maybe she's got him by the balls. Ooh, where are you, Matt? Or does Handy Randy have you by the handy? Well, Matt, tell us. You out there? Do you hear this stream?
Where are you?
Well, we always miss Mad when he's not here, so
we do.
Shout out to Mad.
Yeah. Shout out to Mart again. So,
here's his love of that fucking movie we watched the last time, because he really loves. What was that movie? Point Break. God, I could not believe how much I loved that movie.
I mean, you see his half-naked men on beaches. It's right up his alley. So
I know,
exactly.
Right?
He likes movies about gladiators, I believe.
Nah, it's I still love that movie. I still fucking love it. And look at Soul Assassin.
Perfect for Mad because there's an awful lot of sweaty, oily-looking guys.
And you got one guy who's actually a toxic man in this movie, and that man is the legendary Mr. T, who plays Clubber Lang. And you want to talk about a great antagonist to this movie? I think he was a fantastic villain for this movie. I really, really think he put on a great performance. But before we get into the T-ness, I feel like this, once again, we got another movie that starts up with kind of like a recap of what happened in the last movie. And I know it's interesting because I've heard some opinions and reviews over the years about how it's a good movie, but feels like an unnecessary intro. And I want to push back at all that because I strongly disagree with the word unnecessary. Because the idea, it's like Rocky is at a moment where he's on top of the world. His face and namesake, they are everywhere. He's that guy who got the win. He's on top of the world. You can't go anywhere without seeing him. It kind of gets to his head a little bit. He's kind of wrapped up in the moment too. He's even losing a little bit of his drive. He's winning all these fights. It's a typical what happens when the hero kind of gains a little too much of their glory and enjoys a little too much. And this is something where Spider-Man 3 kind of went wrong with emo Peter Parker. So basically, Rocky 3 did the story way better than Spider-Man 3 ever could. But it's that type of story of what happens when the hero lets it go to him. And when he has his world rocked, he has it happen in more ways than one, causing a perfect storm. He doesn't just, take a big loss in a certain match, but also to his friend, his manager, his trainer, the guy who stood by him and tolerated him when he was tougher to deal with. And of course, man, shout out to there he is. There's our boy here, the legend, Mickey. But I love it because this is where you really see the emphasis of the Eye of the Tiger song happen in this movie. And it really makes you feel like you were there for those first 2 movies. You're like, man, I got to see him come up, even though it's just a movie. It feels like you saw him rise to the top, and now you see him bask in that glory. So, like, even though before he gets cocky, you do enjoy seeing his success because it's so cool to see. Like, hey, hell yeah, man. Rocky's the man. It's so much fun to enjoy. It does. Oh, it does. It sets the
And in
stage.
fact, if you'd never seen any of the movies, you wouldn't have to watch Rocky 2. You could just watch Rocky 3 and you'd see the ending of Rocky 2. So that's it. You'd be good enough with that, wouldn't you?
That's true.
Cut out all that nonsense before it and just see the ending.
There is one thing in the intro to this when they're doing the montage with Clubber Lang and stuff.
Yeah.
It really kind of upset me because this movie was better than I expected, than I remembered it being, but that started me off at the beginning. There's one scene where Clubber, it's one of his victories that he's racking up in order to be able to challenge Rocky. And there's a boxer who goes down in front of him on one knee with a hand on the mat, and he punches him to the canvas. And then the next image is advances to eighth ranking in the world. I watched the fight where Roy Jones Jr. just grazed the top of a guy's head after he had dropped to one knee because he couldn't stop the hook, apparently. And he was instantly disqualified from the match. It was his first loss.
Yeah.
Clubber Lang for that punch, very deliberate punch, in real life, he would have been A, disqualified, B, lost the fight, C, probably fined or suspended for a period of time, setting back his program to go after Rocky. And that's the worst thing I have to say about the boxing in this movie. Everything else was pretty good.
And I get that. That is a very fair argument in the logical sense. But we all know why it was on. It moved the plot of how dangerous Clubber Lang was. Like, watch out for this guy. He does some nutty shit that even people won't step in line and say, "Hey, you gotta stop this. This is illegal."
Yeah, he's not a boxer. He doesn't even qualify as a fighter. He's an animal, and they say that about him.
Yes, and that is something that they emphasize. So I feel like, and I did think about that, like, to a degree. Like, he does some stuff that's like that would be considered like, like, hey, this calls for disqualification. But
yeah, I've seen a couple of fights where I watched a boxer basically prop another guy up like he throws Rocky into the corner. I've seen that in a real boxing match. They had plenty of things they could have done that would have made you realize this guy will stop at nothing, not just to beat an opponent, but to hurt him. They didn't have to have him do that. They didn't have to have him make a foul like that. I thought it was unnecessary because most of the rest of this is actually the most intelligent boxing of the 3 movies. So that seemed out of place, but that was just me. Probably because I've spent a lot of time watching boxing between the time I first saw this movie and now, and I'm more in tune with boxing as a sport than I was when I first saw this.
That's awesome, fucking awesome, dude.
And how good is the song playing? We can't play the song, but I had the time. Just seeing the lyrics, you know what the tune is, right? So that just makes the movie, just the start of this movie is awesome, with that song, and you're going, get you into it, and you see Rocky as a hero now too, defending his title.
He's a
all this
cultural
time.
icon.
So you see him; he's got the good life now. He's Apollo Creed now, right? He's got everything.
I like the fact that they introduce Clubber Lang, but they never really give him any backstory, and I like that.
I do too.
He's just
I agree.
There.
He doesn't need to have that. No, he's just this dangerous guy who's coming from.
Wasted no time with that. Just here's this guy. He's dangerous. He wants Rocky's title. That's it.
And not everything needs to have an emphasis. Now, can you imagine if this came out today? You would say we need a prequel about Clubber Lang, some bullshit about how he got to his journey of what made him so dangerous.
90% of the film would be about that.
Yeah, like there's nothing wrong with a little mystery to some characters. Sometimes it's cool to have that aura of, man, where does this guy come from? And that's what makes you a good villain. Someone who just comes up from well, you're not paying attention. He's that guy who came who's like out of nowhere, like, whoa, what's going on with this guy? Hey, he came out of nowhere and he's got my attention. And he, boy, I like, it's cool because you feel the tension. when they first finally meet at that scene, of course, we'll get to later on, but he really has he poses a great presence throughout this movie. And God, Mr. T, wasn't this like his debut onto the big scene?
Yeah,
of
I'd never
acting?
seen him before.
Yeah,
this.
because Stallone found him watching a TV program, a bouncer program about a contest, and he saw how brutal he was, and immediately wanted him as Clubber Lang.
I remember watching that when that came out. When I saw Mr. T on the show, it was like, I don't believe this guy. I was like, yeah, it was a competition. And then one of the things you had to do was like, the last thing was like break through a door at the end. That was like the final thing. He was like Mr. T running through the door. I was trying to find the clip of it, but
yeah, you get
all these crazy
through
things
the door. He ran through the door.
He had to run through that,
Hungry
like
Boy.
the finale was running through the door. Yeah,
Clobber Lang.
That's a good reference, Hungry Boy Clobber Lang. That was good.
Yeah, it was just like Wolverine. You didn't know was Wolverine's background. You know, years ago was actually I thought a much better character when there was more of a mystery. Yeah, there's you didn't even know his full name or where he came from. There's all this mystery to me. Once in a while, writers would give you little bits and pieces, but now you know everything about Wolverine.
Yeah, Clobber's an enigma, which is fantastic. We don't have to spend any time worrying about how he got where he is. He is where he is, and we know what he wants. Doesn't waste any time, this movie, which I like. There's no...
Yeah.
No, it goes to the thick of it quickly. It really does go to the thick of it. And I'd like to think that our movie does benefit from that, because it's kind of interesting how Rocky 1 and 2 are nearly neck and neck, with both being pretty much exactly 2 hours each. And this one kind of like says, no, we're gonna go on a slight diet. We're gonna have a few less sodas with this one. We're gonna go a little bit. Here we go. Here's our wonderful scenes of him. I love this because you see, like, he's such an inspirational, like, cultural icon. He's taking the time to do all these things. Obviously, he's making money at the process, but you could tell, like, he really does enjoy also being there with the people, too, because he was that guy who was there, in the audience type of person. He was just the fan. He was the little guy on the street, and now he gets to identify with these people. He had that relatable sense to him. He was just a regular guy from bumfuck of Philly. Now here he is hanging out with all them. It's so cool.
Well, he's also getting comfortable on his laurels, as they say.
Oh yeah. He enjoys it first. I guess you could say firmly, but then he gets a little too comfortable for comfort's sake.
Oh, and did you know he's in Back to the Future? No, he's not. Now, just some trivia on the song. The lead singer on this left the band within a year of this film because he developed polyps on his larynx.
Oh, shit.
From what I understand, he eventually had surgery and was able to return to singing, but his voice was never the same.
Did they ever have another hit?
Dave Bickler, Survivor, they had like a couple of songs that hit in the top 100. But I don't think it ever got above 20, or I should say below 20.
Speaking of Eye of the Tiger, I like how this movie actually is going it all in, not on the song just for song's sake, but you have also a few cool different versions of the song on different, I think there's I can't tell what instrument it was, but it sounds more, I don't know if it's violin or synthy bass. But there are different versions, not just the guitar, guitar, drums, bass.
They're taking the
they expand the theme. I love the different versions of the theme.
I'd love to see the whole of that Muppet Show. That would be really good. I would love to see that.
I have it 70s. I'll post the link.
Good. Yeah. You got that. No one else has ever seen it.
It was fun. Yeah, so they changed that. So it was originally it was obviously Sylvester Stallone being on, and they just edited the title. So Rocky Balboa on the Muppets. So really cool. Yep.
Hey, what's with all these autographs here, guys? Hey, what's up with all that? Oh, guys, pets are just flying on my head.
So how many montages are in this movie then? We've got at least 3, haven't we?
At least, well, there's hold on, let me think. 4. Because you got Clubber Lang's early ones. They got Rocky's prepping for
this
first
montage.
And then you got the Clubber Lang montage for. No, hold on. Was there
another Clubber? No, I don't think there is.
No,
there's the Rocky training
montage, but
has
you see
Clubber in it.
There was So 3.
Maybe it's only 2.
You're right. 3.
It's maybe only 2, or is it 3?
I would say 3 because then there's the well, I guess spoiler for somehow if you're somehow the last person on play who's not seen this, then there's the rematch montage, which is great because that's obviously involves another iconic great that evolves his character arc too, which I love having him still come back, Mr. Carl Weathers. Love him in this movie too. Love him in this movie. You hear the old man. What's something interesting is like when I watched this as a kid, like I used to like think, oh man, it was so cool that he was like, kicking ass with all these fights. I remember thinking, Dad, isn't that guy from wrestling? So I had the whole Mr. T thing stuck in my head because and he's so you recognize him immediately the same way you do Hulk Hogan. You don't see Clubber Lang or Thunderlips. You see Mr. T and Hulk Hogan in this movie.
Well, was Mr. T in WrestleMania? Must have been WrestleMania after this movie, right? Yeah, WrestleMania 3 wasn't Mr. T.
This came out, I think, before because the first WrestleMania was 1985. Yeah, actually, this was before, but obviously, I didn't see this till I'm a child. I'm the child on the panel. I know.
Yeah, this came out in 82. It was one of the 82 was a great year for movies, man.
And I didn't see this until I'm gonna make you guys fucking old. I know. I was 9 when I first saw this, 8 or 9 so it was like 96 or 97 when I first saw this movie. So yes, I
saw it in the theater at 18.
Nice. So you're 18. I was not even a fetus.
82 is the first year I got to see R-rated movies and didn't need my dad.
I'd already been in the military for 3 years by then. So.
Oh, man.
And I did see it at the theater, yes.
Yeah, I didn't join the military for years. I was 26 when I joined.
Jeez. Practically.
No, how about Paulie?
Wizened and old by then.
How about Paulie here? Like, I remember this threw me off guard when I was a kid. I'm like, whoa, why is Paulie being so crazy now?
This is the one bit that didn't strike me as being right in the movie. And I think it's because they're always struggling to know what to do with Paulie. So they gave him this scene of he's all discontented and unhappy, although how you can tell the difference.
Jealous, envious.
Yeah, and I felt it was a little bit unnecessary. I don't know.
Yeah, but
he's much nicer guy in the he was much nicer guy in the last movie, right? He kind of reconciled with Rocky, and he gives him that fight, and then movie I'm trying to he gives him the job before, and then like he kind of his personality flips again with the scene when he throws the bottle into the pinball machine.
Well, it's also the thing about it, Stallone always pushes character arcs, and Paulie needed a character arc, so they had to create something for him.
He's more of a character crevice than a character arc.
No, Gary does have a point, and that's something once again to why I
want to play the Playboy machine.
The sequels don't get. Besides, obviously 2 gets a good amount of accolades. 3 gets some minor flack. But I don't understand because every these movies in most of these sequels, you do get not just Rocky having his character growth, but the supporting cast. Like Stallone does know how to balance screen time to have characters have their moment under the sun.
Probably a long time to get any real growth. I mean, as you say, he's reversed here from the second movie. He grew a bit in that. Now he's gone back again. I don't think it was until Rocky Balboa that he really had any proper growth, because then he was the one saying, enough of this, Rocky,
Think
enough
about
of this moping,
He went from jealous at his sisters move out place where he was used to being cleaned up on to now appreciating Rocky. I can see why you see it as a turnaround, but he's like, oh crap. Now it's one of those things where now he's a fan, but then all of a sudden he sees like his wife get the good life. He sees Mickey get the good life. So it kind of becomes like, oh wow, his quality of life has improved, but my own, which obviously is not true because he gave him a watch, but he feels like feels like the odd man out type of thing.
Did you hear? Yeah, but what? Wait a minute. What did he call the watch? That's hysterically funny. An X-Lax watch. That is a all in the familyism for a Rolex watch. Rolex becomes X-Lax in Paulie's mouth. I mean, that Sylvester Stallone wrote this again That is actually a fantastic joke to show you Paulie's character. He's got a multi-$1,000 watch on his wrist, and it's an X-Lax watch. And he throws it on the concrete floor. Oh my God.
The implication in this scene is that he's too proud to have asked Rocky for a job before.
Right.
And everyone else has got one, and he's been too proud to ask, and Rocky's never even thought of it.
Mm-hmm. But he gave him a job in Rocky 2, doing all the merchandise and promotion.
He did, and he's still doing it in the third one.
That's right, Cavatino. Mr. T was a military prick, an MP.
Oh.
He did serve. He was a veteran.
I don't want to mess with him.
Yes.
Nah, seriously. No pity there, man. No pity. Yes, we're gonna do pity jokes all night, guys. So prepare for pity jokes all night. We're gonna double down on them.
Just stay out of my face, chump.
I mean, how could you not? Seriously,
that's a great line here.
I love this line. See, this is what I mean.
That line is a great line. That's a great line. Yeah.
Thank you. I feel like this scene does have some line. Once again, I see where 70s is coming from with the whole seems like reverse, but it does make sense because he needed to have that message re-emphasized to him because he forgot how he felt about Rocky and then grew to love it and then started hating it. And he's also a guy without clearly still alcohol issues.
Well, Paulie's,
so it got to him. Yeah, sometimes things boil up in you over time, and you don't realize you have a resentment because maybe you kind of put it in the back of your head type of thing.
He's not an easy guy. Yeah,
and he never was an easy guy, but this made for great, powerful lines right here. Once again, this was written by Stallone too, so not just directing, but he wrote this movie. So once again, he deserves more credit, not just in the directing, but in the writing, because this is great stuff for watch. This is really quality scene here with the dialogue being spoken.
A lot of personal responsibility, but if any of my friends do win the lottery, though, I hope they owe me a little. Just kidding. But Rocky is really giving a great message here. It's like telling Paulie, hey, you got to do it on your own.
If you go back to the first film, he really does have that general attitude that his sister owes him.
Yeah. He did.
Oh yeah.
You're right. He had this problem, and maybe this is the film where we finally deal with the problem that he's got, where he feels people owe him something.
Yeah, no, you're right, Gary. You're right, because we saw how he reacted.
I'm always right.
He was like, "Hey, look, my sister's nice," but the minute he doesn't have his shit cleaned up, now all of a sudden he's a lost puppy because he's so used to having it so good with her around. Now all of a sudden his world is rocked, and then he's like, "Okay, I'll deal." But now that he's actually dealing, it boiled up over time. So, but I love how Rocky handles not just with the great dialogue.
That look on his face, I know.
That's a clippable shot. But I
looks like Jerry Seinfeld there. That's a Seinfeld look.
I know.
Rocky handles
stop
it.
Hitting me.
There's maturity to Rocky in the scene, even though he does get a little overconfident around the parts of this movie at this time. This one scene here shows how mature he got too within his growth, for his character. Like you see the maturity in his character. And I feel like this scene really showed that well.
Yeah, because if you go back to Rocky and even Rocky 2, he's kind of a child.
Oh, totally a child. He's a child at heart type of guy.
Yeah.
He's got that awkwardness to him too.
Very boyish.
Now he's very boyish. Now he's a father, he's a husband, he's a lover, and almost and that part kind of consumes a little bit because Mickey was always kind of the whole you need to be a fighter first, lover second, because you got a fight coming up. And now because he's got everything he wants, the fighter aspect it starts to be you see it slowly become secondary. In some case, far worse than secondary. And once again, even Talia Shire, man, she took a 180 direction in her appearance. And if you had told someone like, "Hey, that's the same lady," you were like, "Whoa, she looks completely different."
She has some really good stuff in this movie.
She does. She had. I love her scene when she goes to California. They're arguing. Oh my god. Yeah, no, she's awesome. Seriously, she's awesome in that scene.
You gotta have about 100 pounds of brain damage.
I love Mickey's dialogue.
Bigger than dinosaurs.
And by the way, if you didn't know this, Talia is Francis Ford Coppola's sister.
That's right.
Oh, yep. I forgot. You're right. I forgot about that.
Hence why she was in The Godfather.
Nicolas Cage is a cousin. There's a lot of fun. Winona Ryder.
All this nepotism.
Sophia
Yeah.
Coppola.
Sophia.
There's another great joke coming up that is really a clever little back and forth between Rocky and Mickey.
Is it the Bob Hope one?
Yes.
Bob Hope is awesome. Yeah.
Yes.
It's funny. This movie did have a lot of laughs in it and brought a lot of smiles to my face.
Here it is.
Again.
This movie is a
You're wearing your
emotions.
You're wearing your anatomy out for charity. Nobody else does this much for charity. Bob Hope would. You're right.
That's where Stallone's so great as a writer too, right? He gets all these comedic bits and in the movie.
Stuff in this one. Yeah.
It's awesome. Yeah,
it brings
He's
us.
not
there we
just
go.
an action star. He's not just an action star. As great as he is with action, he really does have. He does have all these great talents. Like he really is a man of many talents. He just gets acknowledged for one, even though he possesses far more than just that one talent.
And I just said in the chat to I forget. I apologize. To Vince Womack. I think Stallone's problem, certainly early on, was that he played a lot of roles that caused people to underestimate him. This is an example here. He's playing Rocky. Rocky is not an educated man. He's not a particularly expressive individual, except the guy who's playing him wrote every single line for this movie.
Yeah, right.
This is the most hot ladies we've seen in the Rocky movies to date.
Yeah, the ring girls keep getting upgraded. Yep.
They get upgraded every movie.
Well, Hulk Hogan used to live near me.
Dude, look at that name. That name would be problematic. Love slave. He called to all my love slaves out there.
Yeah, that'd be
This is where Gary, isn't this where you got your start in showbiz as Hulk Hogan's codpiece?
Yeah, I was about to say it. You beat me to the punch. Yes, it's true. I played his penis in this film. And, ironically, in a serious note, thanks for covering me up while I'm talking.
Sorry.
No, it's all right. What's really funny, fuck you, Mark, is that both Thunderlips, the real, Hulk Hogan and Stallone both suffered from wiener problems from steroids. So they're steroid wiener buddies.
I mean, I had to take steroids to get mine down to a manageable size. I mean, it was just,
That's what she said. Yeah.
I fucking love you.
What?
I was just going to say, one of my buddies, his dad, he was shopping in the grocery store, and a lot of the wrestlers live near us, and the WWE's in Stamford, Connecticut. And he's like, oh, he came home. He's like, I just saw Hulk Hogan in the grocery store. He's like, but I could see him from the next aisle over, like over the top of the aisle. He said he said hi to him. He couldn't believe how big the guy was. And then the scene coming up when he's next to Stallone. Stallone is not a big guy to begin with.
Even see up to his chest.
You can't even see him. And then in this movie, Stallone was his lowest body fat and best shape, I think. So he weighed about 153 pounds.
Bread and water diet.
Shape.
Yeah, 153 pounds. So, when they say he's 202 or whatever they say, or 198, he's 150 pounds. It's 150 pounds.
And when the commentator said he looks like a middleweight, he wasn't lying.
Yeah, he wasn't lying, right?
He really was pretty close to the weight of a middleweight boxer.
He was not. He also I'd say this movie, his hair is definitely the most dashing too. Because especially when he was rocking the suits too, when you'd rock the suits, the hair would shine in those suits. I mean, it kind of does here too.
This movie, the start of this movie was his audition for Tango and Cash.
Yeah.
Oh, totally.
Because he looked sharp in that suit earlier. Yeah.
Yeah, in the suit and everything. Yeah.
And there's on Michael Buffer with the amazing mustache.
Yeah, amazing. Rocky's pretty cut there. Yep.
He's looking.
Mickey's just like, I'm so happy you're gonna get a stupid fight here. What are you doing, Rock? Doing this?
He's gonna
beat you. No, Brian Park. They did not mistake it. This was done because it was a charity show.
It's an exhibition, fake bout.
Yeah,
that's all they're supposed to do.
If you want to do comic book language talk, we'll say consider it a non-continuity thing where nothing really counts here. It's for fun. And, well, even though it's for fun, it does get very very competitive.
It's hilarious.
It
Yeah.
kinda reminds
Well,
me of when
it is funny
Marvel
because
and DC
There
would
we
do
go.
crossovers.
Rocky proves
God,
that he
it's
knows
beautiful.
nothing about professional wrestling here, because at the end he asks him, "Why did you?" Well, he thinks this is real
Yeah, that's true.
the whole
thinks it's
time.
fun.
Rocky thinks it's real, so he's completely out of the joke that this is a fake bout just for charity. Hulk Hogan knows exactly what this joke is and is playing it for all he's worth. And Rocky has no idea what's going
He doesn't
on.
know how to put on that kind of show, does he? He's not.
No.
Nope.
Well, he
He's an
figures it
earnest
out pretty
guy.
quickly.
He's earnest. He doesn't know how to put
Yeah,
it on.
he's earning. Yeah, he's
Same with
serious.
Adrian, because like their son is like, "What? No, this is fun," but she's just like, "What is going on here, Rocky? You need to get on
Make
now."
faces. Make faces.
And Hulk Hogan had a big dispute with the WWE or WWF back then about getting time off to make this movie, and there was a big big fight, I guess, within wrestling. He said, "Screw it, I'm making this movie because this helped to make him a huge star, and then that helped the WWF in the long run anyway." But if you're a wrestling fan, he's one of the great all-time greats. So. And then to see him in this movie, God, that was so much fun. Going to the movie theater, like, what the hell is, you didn't know anything about the movie going into it, really. Like, what the hell is Hulk Hogan doing in this movie? So that was another great opening scene.
You'd be lucky to have seen a trailer during a previous film you'd been to see, and it's certainly not the coverage you'd get today.
Oh, D-Bud here with the knowledge. Muhammad Ali fought a Japanese wrestler. Did he now? Dude.
And I do believe that was the inspiration for this.
You know what? Also, this is toxic for Mad. Hogan's wearing the whitey tighties.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. If he's not turned on by
Got his
that,
underwear on backwards.
I mean, he went full whitey tighty. Like he's basically like 80% naked. Like, come on. And of course, you got Clubber Lang's personality. It was the embodiment of a toxic male. So,
Oh shit! And this is also where we see Mickey start having problems medically.
Oh
Yes.
yes.
Oh, your life. It's funny. It's a funny film. It brings smiles to your face. This film. It's slightly less dramatic in that sense than the other two, but it's also
take my gloves off.
It's more satisfying in some ways.
Gets the job done that way.
Yeah. You see some of the, as I said with Mrs. Redshirt watching this last night, with Clubber Lang, you see his neighborhood looks like shit, and with Paulie wandering around, his neighborhood, South Philly, still looks like crap. But the humor comes in because Rocky lives in a mansion now. This to him is a dream world. He never saw anything. He never saw anything like this. Mm-hmm. He didn't have a television to watch Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous or whatever. So he'd never seen a place like the house he winds up buying and is living in at the beginning of this movie. So the humor is that Rocky's a little, to me, it was that Rocky's a little bit silly now.
Oh, he totally.
And that's
is a
about to
little silly.
change.
He is silly because you remember earlier, like he was really eating up on all the fun and all the accolades and acclaim and being on commercials for credit cards and being on ads. So yeah, it definitely was. He was getting silly.
He's a kid right now. Yeah, he's a kid in a candy store. He's having the time of his life. It's all about to come land on his head. And it started to here. It started to here when Hulk Hogan landed on his head.
And it was a really good fit to get Hulk Hogan because he really makes Rocky look very puny. And
He does.
He really does. And when you see him just mopping the floor clean on Rocky, and it's funny because when you look at the leg drop, like when you watch, like if you're
imagine laying under that
wrestling,
and seeing that coming at you.
Oh my god!
Yeah.
Like,
ouch.
When Hogan faces someone like The Rock or The Undertaker, he just looks like another same guy, multiple sizes. But Rocky looks that much smaller compared to Hogan. It's not like Hogan versus the Ultimate Warrior. So it's just like, oh, it's two big guys. This looks right. But then you see Hogan versus Rocky. Like, wow, Rocky's just he's basically Vern Troyer.
That professional wrestling may be whatever the word is not fake, but but it's
It's
certainly
stunt
physical.
work.
It's certainly physical.
The stunts are real, yeah. The outcome is fake, but the stunts and
you got to be on top of your game to do.
I love it. Oh yeah, his name Meatball. He keeps calling him Meatball.
You can get hurt very easily. Yeah.
I've gotten to meet Linda McMahon times and talk to her about doing the stunt when Shane was jumping off the top of the cage. I was asking her about that. Yeah. And of course, it's staged, but she said, it almost gave her a heart attack and his wife because it's a real stunt. I mean, he's doing the real. He's doing a stunt. So it's all planned.
Mankind,
these are big guys hitting each other.
Hell in a Cell against the Undertaker. There was some pain felt there.
Oh
when Mankind took that fall,
and that went back. Yeah, that was the cage broke when it wasn't supposed to break.
Yes, the cage was not supposed to break. So things do go wrong. And there are some legitimately serious injuries that do happen to these guys.
Oh yeah, it's exactly like stunt work. The airbag or the boxes or whatever you're supposed to land in don't work, or that poor guy in the second drinker was talking about it today. I think the guy who
his video,
goes pinwheeling through the air. That's a famous shot. That wasn't the way his stunt was supposed to go.
No.
I don't think he had a good landing.
Oh, Owen Hart?
That was so sad watching that live.
I remember.
Because my sister's a big wrestling fan.
No. I'm talking about Mad Max. I'm talking about the guy in Mad Max who was standing up in a vehicle, and the vehicle smashes into a wrecked vehicle, and he goes flying over the windshield and literally goes by the camera, pinwheeling through the air, laid out flat. He was not meant to do that. So I'm not sure he hit his landing spot. And there were injuries on that film. I mean, that's stunt work. It happens. I've always assumed that professional wrestling has injuries.
There you go. Lost one of his teeth, lacerated kidney. Wow. Yeah.
Ooh. He could have died in that match.
Yeah, he could.
So many deaths in stunts. More than there should be, and it's been going on since the invention of movie stunts. And wrestling is it's a form of theatrics. It's theatrical, fighting.
Scripted.
Very well said.
Says scripted, but it's certainly physical to the extreme. So
now, there was a question I saw, guys. A really good question. Bryant Barth, there it is.
Okay.
Do you think that Rocky is what Apollo was in Rocky 1, and that is
actually
what Stallone was doing?
Spot on.
Yeah. He was circular storytelling. He was trying to show how cyclical the character.
The tides turn. Yeah,
but there's also the point that we learn later about what Mick has been doing to cover for him.
And then Clubber Lang is not what Rocky was. He's the guy who's hungry. He's the guy who's like, I have something to prove. Obviously, he wasn't being violent and a brute, but they both had that drive.
He's really different from Rocky, though, in that Rocky in the first movie through most of the movie, didn't feel he had anything to prove. He wasn't chasing the heavyweight championship. It came to him. The chance came to him. So Clubber's devoted, looks like he's a guy who's devoted everything to going for that from the beginning.
He does.
So there's a slight difference.
But
once Rocky's motivated, it's different. Once
he's a man on a mission, is what he is.
Yeah, Rocky in the first film was just a guy that wanted to do something better than what he was doing.
Right.
He wanted to be a better person.
What's up, Dustin?
It's classic wrestling.
Paulie coming.
Look how big, small Stallone is next to. He's picking him up like that.
More than half his body is half of Hulk's body. More than half his body is like half of Hulk's body.
Yeah, Paulie.
I don't swear
Paulie gets rocked, and this is probably the movie that Paulie gets rocked the most. If you think about it, this is not the first time he gets rocked or is about to get rocked in the movie. Like,
I don't sweat you.
I don't sweat you. Yeah.
So he says that about 6 times.
I don't get paid enough for this.
Sweat you.
Oh, hey guys, we got another guy waiting to get on here.
Oh, no.
You know him. Talk.
Hey yo.
What do you want, Rock?
I want bad boy. I want his title.
No, I don't hate Balboa, but I pity the fool, and I will destroy any man who tries to take what I got.
Don't give that sucker Tom Connors
Thank you,
anything.
Mark, for that.
Howdy,
I'm
Tom.
gonna resist clipping that one. Yeah. All-time classic line. Yep.
Yeah.
And hail to Mr. T.
No,
or Tom.
and Dustin, we were just saying that, like, when you see Hulk Hogan like go toe to toe with like a Triple H, he doesn't seem like, he obviously, you know, he's a big guy, but he doesn't seem like that much of a giant. But once you actually, but once you actually see him next to like an ordinary guy like Stallone, you're like, oh damn, he really is a big guy. You know, I had that same issue in person. I don't know how well versed the chat is in the Attitude Era of wrestling, but there was a tag team called the Hardy Boys, and they're Matt and Jeff Hardy. And this relates to personal experience. You know, obviously they're really talented. They had cool high flying moves that they did from the tops of ladders. They did the TLC matches. Really good stuff.
Crazy.
Really entertaining. Really crazy stuff. Death Defiers. But, you know, as much as I like them, I never thought of them as like big guys, because, you know, obviously you see The Rock is obviously a towering giant over the Hardy Boys. Until one day I was at the biggest mall in our state, which is Mall of America. And that's when WWF comes to the Allstate Arena, it's like 20 minutes from that mall. One time I was in the Hot Topic of Woodfield Mall, and I turned around and I bumped into Matt Hardy. And I'm like, oh, hey, I'm sorry, dude. Like, no, didn't mean to do that. He's, oh, you're good. And then I kind of like put two and two there, because I knew there was a pay-per-view
Wrong
that
guy
weekend.
to bump.
There was a pay-per-view that weekend. And I'm like, oh, crap. That was Matt Hardy I bumped into. I looked to the corner, and I see Jeff Hardy looking. And I'm like, holy crap, Matt looks huge in person. Like, and I always thought he was a little guy who just happened to be very talented. But it just shows you, like, these guys, they may seem small compared to their peers, but when you actually see them up close in person, even the smaller guys are gigantic. Even the Hardy Boys. It's funny how it do be like that.
I didn't watch. I didn't watch wrestling. I haven't watched wrestling. But
Yeah.
did Hulk Hogan ever go up directly against Andre the Giant?
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah,
that
it's
was a
one of the most
match. It was a
famous
historical
WrestleMania.
Yeah,
That's
it was
okay.
WrestleMania
That because I had this image of Hulk Hogan and Andre the Giant, not knowing whether I'd ever seen him together. Watching this,
if I remember right,
that
it
was one of the most
WrestleMania
famous.
3.
Yeah,
and
he actually was
everybody
able to
called
pick him
bullshit because fucking Hulk Hogan won.
Well, at that time, Andre the Giant had never lost a match. At that point,
Well, not just
time.
that. It's like you could. Andre was one of those guys where, yeah, it was. They kind of set up, you know, like so and so supposed to win, whatever, blah 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 blah. But if you pissed Andre off, he wouldn't let you win.
Yeah.
I've heard some stories about Andre.
So you have to play it very careful with him, from what I remember hearing. Like, and yeah, like that whole thing was like there was no fucking way in hell he won that match fair and square. No way. Everybody knew that was bullshit.
So we went past the bit where I love the bit where Stallone just manages to get him over the edge.
barely.
Hulk
Yeah,
Hogan
just
goes
barely
and
gets him
flies
over.
back.
And he's shaking the whole time.
Well, that's
let's talk
foreshadowing.
about that.
That's foreshadowing Hulk Hogan fighting,
baby.
Andre the Giant, because he does the same thing in WrestleMania years later, and that was the thing. Like he was able to pick him up and drop him over, and like Tom said, Andre would never lose, but wrestling, it's all rigged, of course. So it's.
Scripted is the word.
Scripted,
I just love how
There he goes. He's just
Rocky's so on the defense that even when the match is called for a draw, he's just like, "Hey, no, what the hell was that?" And he's like, "Oh no, that's just
human
that's just the
skyscraper."
business, man."
Hey,
and all of a
got a
sudden they
question.
make up like that.
I got a question for you guys.
Yeah.
What's up?
Does he not look like Sergio Aragonés from that created Gru, the announcer?
Oh, it's Geary with a J.
I called Tom earlier to get permission to show one of their videos, and it sounded like I woke him up.
I had just woke up.
He sounded like it was like, "Hey Tom," and you're like, "Oh,
Oh, I did not know this. Hogan
Well, you
ripped one of
didn't
his
ask me
bod-
for
his
something bad,
muscles?
so I was like, all right, cool, whatever.
Okay, this puts things in.
I was expecting it to be, I got some bad news.
Hey Tom, I got a warning. I'm going to be there for your birthday stream. Okay?
What birthday stream?
I don't know. I've never heard of such a thing.
Okay, I got some.
That I'm not
interesting-
supposed to know about.
I got some interesting comments here. So Vince says Hogan ripped one of his body muscles slamming Andre. Okay, so so he actually there was some. I guess you could say a sliver of
Wasn't that where some of his
in
back
them.
problems came from later in life? Was they said that he pulled something that night when he lifted?
Well, he did.
Andre?
He had ongoing back problems, so
Yeah.
I bet you that is where it came from.
And this one's equally interesting too. Where Hungry Boy says, after seeing all the guys at my school called all the Italian lads meatball for the next 3 weeks. Oh, that is hilarious.
I love this scene.
Hungry
And
Boy.
Paulie's like, we got a problem in the 7th as soon as Rocky leaves. Like, don't take my kid.
Yes. And don't take him to the track, Paulie.
Hey, speaking of problems. Mr. Brian Yoder for $20 coming in hot. Woo! Says, I pity the pizza. And you know what, Brian? Thank you for the $20. And you know, Mr. T.
No, I don't hate Balboa, but I pity the fool. And I will destroy any man who tries to take what I got.
Thank you for $20, sir.
Why
I
don't
do
you come home
appreciate
with me?
it.
I'll show you what a real man's like.
Oh God, yeah, this is the scene right here because the statue. And guys, man, we show on Rocky too when I was at the Rocky statue, but it was so cool seeing this thing in person. Like,
oh, we got a special version for tonight too. We'll play a few seconds of it.
Oh yes.
Yeah. And they did move it. They moved it. As I recall,
it's downstairs now. Yeah.
It's out there more to the right side. And it's funny because out there's guys who was trying to make money by taking photos for people.
Yeah.
And see what I say about the hair with the suit, the combination of the hair and the suit. Tell me I'm wrong. The hair and the suit is a combination.
Oh, it is. It definitely is. It was the junior executive look that he was going for.
So I'm guessing Mick is Tango.
Oh my God. No, hey, Hungry Boy, this is a place where you can be toxic. This is
the place to be toxic.
It is.
It is
Absolutely.
called Toxic Tuesday for a reason.
Well, here we go. I'll play a few seconds of this one there.
I want to get away. I want to fly away.
Something really creepy about that. That's creepy.
Oh my God, Mark.
That's Nick's. I got Nick's face on the statue.
That was
Yep.
really freaky to watch my face move on that statue. But you got some laughs on chat, so that I call that worth it. That was so real. But no, this is the first time like where Rocky Balboa pulls a Michael Jordan, where he goes into his first of where he's about to go into first of a few retirements. Obviously, this one doesn't go full on, but it's where he entertains the idea because he was supposed to quit after the first movie. And that third movie, he's like, hey, maybe I've done. But then our boy here, this is where he gets full toxic man here. He's hitting on Adrian, calling out Rocky for not taking notice of him. Yeah,
I'm a real man.
70s is right. He's a man on a mission. Like he's really.
And up till this point, you're actually not against him in a sense because he's just doing what you would expect. It's when he starts hitting on Adrian that you go, okay, he's a villain. He's actually a villain.
Yeah, he's being completely provocative.
Yeah, because that's out of line for anybody. Yeah.
Yes.
Now you.
But I have to say, I do have to say, this is boxing. You guys, I know you guys know, you have forgotten more about wrestling than I know. But boxers, when they're trying to get a match, that makes
it's a lot of this. Yeah.
politics look simple.
It does.
You have to get the other boxer to tell his manager to tell a promoter we want this, and that's what he's doing here. He's now the thing is I don't think he's faking it. I don't think it's an act for his character. I think his character really is that crazy.
He's direct. He's very direct.
He's very direct. When you saw Hulk Hogan, throwing police officers off the apron, he was still in character playing a role in the charity event. Mr. T, the way his character behaves, I don't think he's playing a role. I agree with Mickey. He'll kill you. He wants to hurt people. George Foreman, by the way, was like that for a long time. And he said it once in an interview. He says, I was an angry young man. I just wanted to hurt people.
Yeah.
And there are boxers like that, and this guy's supposed to be one of them. He is becoming the villain here.
Oh, and here we go. Here's the line. Yep.
Yeah, me too. So I did not know that about Mr. T's mom, but that's very funny.
I could understand that though, because in real life we all know Mr. T's he's a
I was
really
gonna say,
good guy.
wasn't
He was raised by a devout Christian.
Yeah,
I was gonna say,
so-
didn't he partially work with youth programs and
He's been
all
a
this other
very
stuff? The
straight
whole
head.
thing
He did a
was
lot
this,
of
he was
charitable work.
this, wasn't he discovered because his whole persona, he was on some news broadcast or something or other? And
No, it was a contest, a tough man type contest for bouncer.
something. I can't
and
remember.
Stallone
but,
actually saw it.
Okay, it was Stallone. I wasn't sure if it was
Yeah.
Stallone or not, but yeah. And then because I know it just kind of ballooned from there, and he just became one of those personalities of the '80s, and it was just Mr. T was everywhere.
And as
I
tough as
remember
he is,
having an ice
he's
cream
really
bar with them
like a
on it.
gentle bear. He's so nice in real life to people.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, Mrs. Redshirt met him once
Oh, cool.
at a concert where he was bodyguarding somebody, and she actually got to say hello to him, and he said hi back to her, and he kissed her on the cheek, and he kissed her friend on the cheek, and she said he was the sweetest person I've ever met.
So he didn't say anything about her wanting a real man and
No, he didn't. No, he didn't. He was acting there, but yeah, he in real life he's nothing like even his
he's a
persona on
Christian.
the A-Team.
And see, guys,
he's
that's what makes an
completely
actor an
different guy.
actor.
That's what that is.
Now here's the thing. Now I like this.
Yeah,
We
make a
talk
wish,
about this
that's right.
racism shit all the time. Here's somebody who actually dealt with it. Mr. T was born Lawrence Terud, if I'm saying that right. Terud, in Chicago, Illinois, the youngest son in a family of 12.
Wow. I didn't know his family was that. I knew he had a pretty big fan, but I didn't know it was that large.
1970, he legally changed his name to T. His new name, Mr. T, was based upon his childhood impressions regarding the lack of respect from white people for his family. I think about my father being called boy, my uncle being called boy, my brother coming back from Vietnam and being called boy. So I question myself, what does a man have to do before he's given respect as a man? So when I was 18 years old, I was old enough to fight and die for my country, old enough to drink, old enough to vote. I said I was old enough to be called a man. I self-ordained myself Mr. T, so the first word out of everybody's mouth was Mr.
Wow, that's kind of bad. That's a very alpha male move.
Well, it kind of reminds me of Mr. Tibbs, if you think
He
about
played
it.
football and wrestled and studied martial arts in high school. He became a wrestling champion. He was
He's
in the
from
Army
Chicago,
in
eh?
He enlisted in 1975 and served as a military police corps in the military police corps. He tried out for the Green Bay Packers.
But once again, I want to go back because if you remember in the 60s, in the heat of the night, that was such a big moment when Sidney Poitier, turns to the characters as they call me Mr. Tibbs.
Yeah.
And I can't help but wonder if that had an impact on him.
Yes,
I wouldn't be surprised.
Sylvester Stallone saw him on America's Toughest Bouncer on NBC.
Yeah, competition, yeah.
Well, it's interesting.
And when he
Was
gave
it
him
Joe
the role,
Frazier?
he beefed up the role because he originally only had a few lines. And
Was
his
it-
catchphrase, "I pity the fool," comes from the film.
What?
Yeah.
So that was so the film started it? Oh
Yeah.
wow. Dude.
Stallone wrote that. Holy shit, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Stallone
That
gave
is
him
awesome.
gave him his signature phrase.
God,
And he took his hairstyle from a Mandinka warrior.
You know what? That looks like a warrior type of hair. Ultimate Warrior's jealous he couldn't even do that.
So there you go. There's a crash course on Mr. T.
And this is also the first film where we identify Mickey as Jewish instead of Irish.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
That's right. I don't think we'd ever heard his surname until this film.
Nope.
We do not. And oh boy, Mickey. And we were talking earlier, but I agree to a point with the whole humor. But I feel like this movie also has some great emotional scenes as well.
Now we're getting into the dramatic part.
Yeah, the dramatic part. And I feel like this movie balances the emotions because you have the fun, you have the humor part, you have the very serious, and then you have the straight, sad, tragic moments, and then you have the triumphant moments. Like this movie knows how to make you feel feelings. It's kind of like Inside Out before Inside Out.
But that was Nick, to your point. That scene where he's talking with Mickey and Mickey's telling him about the bouts that he's fought. And that you know, that beating you took from Apollo should have killed you. My job was to keep you alive.
That's right.
And that those 10 fights he had previously were easy fights. They were just small time fights. And Rocky didn't even know that. He's like, hold on, what? He's like, yeah, they were good fighters, but they weren't big time names. So like that kind of like
Frank Stallone,
they weren't dangerous
killers.
Frank Stallone,
they weren't dangerous fighters, right? And by the way, that's not unusual in boxing. That is what a manager is trying to do for a boxer to improve his record, which gets more money in fights. When you're 16-0, you get a certain amount of money. When you're 32-0, you get a lot more money. Yeah, if you have to beat 16 journeymen, they'll do that.
Yeah, if you want to back up, there was Frank there, and also that painting,
that's what I was saying.
Those are Stallone's paintings. He actually does those paintings. Those are his.
Jeez, how many talents does this guy have?
On the side of the ring.
He's pretty talented.
Seriously, like we were just, I mean, Eternal Vigilance.
And
we were
think
saying this
one of
earlier.
those paintings is actually, it was for a long time. If it still is, hanging in one of the major museums in.
One more.
Which one?
One more. There he is.
There he is. Yeah.
Yep.
There's Frankie.
The good-looking brother is the mother's dad.
Take care, Dustin.
Famous, and that's I think the famous painting that's actually in a museum or whatever. Yeah.
So long.
The night of the in this one, and now that we see Rocky, now that the fight is officially on, you know, we got the promo going, we set the stage, everyone's got the press is talking about it, everyone's all pumped, excited, like Rocky versus Clubber Lang, you know, what's gonna happen. And this is where you see Rocky, he showboats. He straight up showboats. He's not taking this seriously because he's so on top of the world. He doesn't have that drive that he has. That obviously Lang has the drive. Obviously, comes from a different place, as you guys mentioned earlier.
You guys
he
are
still
missing
has the
the
drive
obvious.
to win.
He lost the eye of the tiger.
Yeah. You're right. No, if anything, it's Lang who has the eye of the tiger.
You had it, man. You had that eye of the tiger.
I love the story about the writing of that song too. That Stallone handpicked Survivor and gave them pretty much what the song was, and then they just worked with it and wrote it.
That's great. That's
his brother, or was the Sylvester? You said was it
Sylvester?
Frank? Was Sylvester?
Yeah.
Oh,
can I get a kiss?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Get out of here.
You see Adrian. Adrian is not with that. I very like the look. She's like, oh great. Yeah, he's really letting all this, go to him. So he doesn't go full egomaniac. It's just like you could definitely tell he's definitely not the same guy.
But I love that right there where he goes to kiss Mickey.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's obviously this is not what Mickey wants out of Rocky, because this is not the guy he was training coming up. Like, so obviously Mickey's he's peeved by it because he likes to have his part where it's just him, Rocky, and free of the distractions for the world. But now obviously Mickey has to adjust. He's in a different arena. He has to train under vast different circumstances, and he does not like it. It takes away from what he's known for doing. So I can imagine this had to draw his character nuts. And you see him, and Lang, he's just God. Look how he's like. Look at that! Come on, look at that face. You tell me that guy's not ready. He's not poised and ready to win.
Hungry. He's got that eye of the tiger.
That was good.
No, this is a great.
That should be a drinking game. Every time Tom says "Eye of the Tiger," we take.
I mean, this came out 40 years ago last week.
Yeah.
God.
So it was one of the biggest. 82 is a huge fucking year for film, and
he's still an action star. Expendables 4 is it coming out?
Coming out. Yeah. No, but as I brought this up earlier on Meat, I'm like, this is in that legacy of the good third films, right? Because the third film is usually where shit goes downhill. A lot of Smokey and the Bandit, Spider-Man, you name it. even I even pointed out how Return of the Jedi just isn't nearly as good as Empire and Star Wars. In most
agree
cases.
wholeheartedly.
And some people make an argument for Godfather 3, Karate Kid 3, what have you. Here we go. Though we have a third film that, I mean, you could make an argument that it's maybe better than 2, but at the same time, 2 it doesn't make it worse than any of those films either. At the same time, because it carries the story on. It allows all the characters to grow, not just one, but all the characters to grow.
Yep,
including Apollo and a few others that are normally would get the shaft, right? Like they would just make him another villain all over again in any other like movie at this time. But to have him take on the role that he does, and they don't telegraph it either. That's the beauty of it, because like Apollo's not in this first part of this movie all that much.
Yep.
And so when he comes in, you're like, oh, the first time you see, like now we know it's old hat, right? Like, but when the first time you see this, you're just like, okay, this is an interesting twist. And they took a lot of chances with this film, because instead of just you could make the argument, oh yeah, it's just a repeat and reverse of the first film. No, not really, because I heard you guys kind of talking about that earlier too. And I'm like, I see where you can, a bad critic would see that on the surface. And I'm not calling any of you a bad critic for saying that, but it has those elements. But that's where Stallone and these guys knew what they were doing with this film, because it really does elevate all the characters.
Tom, I got a question for you. When
I'm sorry, wake up.
When Apollo comes on into the ring before the first match with Clobber, and Clobber gets right in his face.
Yeah.
And Apollo starts to give it back, because come on, he's former heavyweight champion of the world.
Personal, yeah.
He takes it a little personally. My point, my feeling when rewatching this, admittedly, second time, was, Clobber just made a mistake. He's made the wrong enemy. He's made an enemy of the one guy that might be able to help Rocky take him apart.
Right, and that's
kind of my
moment,
feeling,
right? Because it's
good
a little extra motivation for Apollo, but he didn't need it.
No,
but it's still a great moment.
But it telegraph that when you say it didn't telegraph it, that's the one brief thing that says Apollo is going to go to Rocky's side all the way here, because he hates this guy.
Right. Yeah, and he says, take this chump out for me.
The enemy of my enemy.
Yes.
Yeah. And seeing this in the movie theater the first time, I couldn't believe, like, you love Mickey, right? So, and then when he goes down, you're like, oh, well, he's going to be all right, right?
That's a tough.
And then when you find out that he passes away, well, watching this again, you're like, where the hell is the medical teams here in a boxing match? But I mean, I was crushed when I watched this too the first time in the theater, where like no one in the theater could believe, like, they just killed off Mickey. What the heck? So Tom brings up some great points. Yeah, it's some of it's a rehash, but really not, because Tom's right. The characters grow, and there's a lot new. It's not not just blowing up another Death Star again.
Well, not only that, like, you can sit there and you can say, oh yeah, Clubber's a lot like this character, that character. And a point, he's kind of part Rocky, part Apollo, but it completely takes another turn, right? Because it's not about Rocky getting his chance and just wanting to go the distance, or in part 2, it's him balancing, the life of being a boxer and a champion, plus being a family man, and the pitfalls that come with that. This is him facing a true opponent who don't fucking care who he is. He just wants what he has, right? It's not a personal thing on a level of who he is, like, or anything like that. It's just like, you got what I want, and I'm coming through you to get it.
Yeah, Rocky's just in the way.
Exactly, and he's not faced
nothing more than
like
a mere obstacle.
He has never seen Apollo wasn't like this. That's my whole point. This is a hungry fucking boxer who is like the equivalent of now what we've seen come out of, like, young what's his face, Tyson, right?
Oh yeah,
exactly.
Young Tyson.
I made that note. If Iron Mike Tyson had been boxing professionally before this movie was made, he would have been the model.
Exactly.
For Rocky's opponent.
Life, it's like, God damn, this guy is like a living Clubber Lang. Like, he'll fuck around. Like,
that's exactly it.
Yeah, watching boxing back then with Tyson was just demolishing opponents before the whole ridiculous stuff with, taking a bite of Holyfield's ear out. I mean, we'd buy, chip in for pay-per-views, and then the bout would last like, 30 seconds or 3 minutes. I mean, boxers look scared to get in the ring with him. I mean,
and that's the kind of guy Clubber is. He don't give a fuck how many rounds he goes. No. That ain't about that. He's just here to knock your ass the fuck out. And that's
Yep.
what he is. And then Rocky gets that full brunt force. He's never faced this before. None of the guys he's ever faced, because they've all been, it's partially kind of a show. Even Apollo, even when he was the more serious party, he still knew he couldn't, go all out. Like this guy, he's never dealt with this before. So I love how they handle this whole thing and the fear that he has of getting back in that ring, and, the whole thing of how he's intimidating him just endlessly with everything. And, he's good at first of kind of shaking it off, but we know it's rattling Rocky. We know it's getting to him.
Yeah,
even though
that's
he's not
the job of
it,
a lot of these boxers. They'll do that. They try to get under the skin of the other fighter to psych them out.
It's even deeper than that. It's even deeper than the whole, we're putting on a show, kind of the heel. He's not just playing the role of the heel, right? He's beyond that. Like, that's the thing, right? Like, Apollo almost went to the point where he started playing the heel in the first film, remember? Mm-hmm. And he was doing it on purpose. In this case, Clubber don't give a fuck. That's my whole point. This is like pure boxer.
Yeah, no, you're right.
Actually,
rough,
pure punch. He's a pure puncher, and he's the dangerous kind, the kind that can knock you out with one punch from either hand.
And that's what Tyson became, right? Like, that was my whole point.
Exactly.
Come on, I'm like, oh my god, this guy just don't give a fuck.
No, Tom, you're right, because if you remember, obviously in the second movie, even though Apollo was bitter about getting stood up in the first movie, he is still his win.
But he's still a professional. Exactly.
He's still professional. He's still also he was willing to have that chat. When Rocky said, "Hey, when we were fighting, we were trying," and he confessed to trying. So he still had a respect for Rocky. This guy, he doesn't respect him. He doesn't care about him in any way, shape, or form. He doesn't. When he thinks about all he talks about how much he wants to hurt him. How much he wants to cripple him.
This
He's
is
like
what
a
I
Bane
went
to Batman type of thing.
This is why, Nick, I agreed with you on the foul they showed in the first montage. They were showing how Clubber doesn't care about rules. He cares about hurting his opponent.
Yes. Oh, Hungry Boy's
and
right.
what he says to him before the fight starts too, he calls him dead meat.
Yeah.
And that's how he sees him as his meat.
Well, that's what I was reminded in the mid '80s and late '80s when Tyson would do one of his fights and people would gripe because they'd spend all kinds of money on pay-per-view and the fucking match would be done before he even got to sit down.
I know.
I just went to grab a beer and some chips. I come in, the fucking match is over. Good thing I was taping it, but goddamn, I paid $50 to watch a guy get knocked out in 6 seconds.
Yeah, that's why we all split. We would end up splitting it because we don't know how long it's gonna last. Right? You're like, come on, don't leave to go to the bathroom. Yeah, that's a sad scene.
But he would too. He would just come right out, just boom.
9-year-old me was crushed when I saw this thing because I did see these movies in proper order when I was a kid, and this is like one of my first death scenes as a kid, and so of course I was attached to it because I thought he was just this crazy old man, but he was still fun and likable. And I really grew with him like I grew with Rocky. So I hated seeing the scene when I was a kid. I hated
like his dad.
It. Yeah, he was a father figure to him, and I was like I at the time obviously you can't just process the idea of it's still at the end of the just a movie because you're a kid. Oh no, I liked him. Why type of thing. So
and
never forget.
And I would argue, just like a dad. Mickey was the first guy that actually cared about Rocky.
Yes.
You watch the first 2 movies and nobody really cares about Rocky. They just want to use him for some reason.
Yeah.
The loan shark wants to use him to collect money. Paulie wants to use him to, get a job.
Further his career, yeah.
And further his career as a wannabe gangster. This really is, for Rocky, his father. This is the first person he's ever known who cared about him, wanted to help him, told him what he needed to hear, whether he wanted to hear it or not, like fathers used to do. And so this really does hit home in exactly that way, that Rocky's lost his dad, not just his trainer. And it has that impact. It's
Did they ever mention his parents? I mean, I know they had some pictures on the wall in the first movie, I think, showing his dad. I think, or was that just him as a young kid? Or did they ever mention his family? Or
they never mentioned them.
Remember any mention of them.
If his parents showed up in the pictures, it's just shown as he's looking at himself in old pictures and his parents, if you will. But he never says anything about them.
I don't think they ever showed any pictures with him and his family.
That's what I'm wondering. Was it just him, maybe?
I think it was just him.
Picture.
Just him, okay.
I don't think he even knew that his brother was out there, Frank Stallone.
Yeah, he's in the same room. Didn't even know he was there.
Well, we're
no,
related.
I don't think they've ever established any family for Rocky, to be honest.
Yeah,
no,
so
I don't think they did.
Now, when you're mentioning that red shirt, yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, yeah, I'm not Nick. This was beautifully crafted. If you want to call it a setup, this is a payoff from 2 movies ago.
Oh, you're right. It is a payoff.
It is a big deal. It was supposed to have that emotional impact, and I would argue that this is the moment this movie goes to about Rocky's emotions and what Rocky's life has become for him, and whether he's going to make a decision to live where he has been and take what he's gotten and just live with it, which he wants to do right now. And Apollo here has other ideas.
I loved when Apollo showed up because I remember, once again, I have a lot of very fond memories of first days. I'm like, no way, Apollo's there. Is he going to team up with them? And when you see them actually get along, these two mesh so well together. I love how they bounce off of each other. They really do have a bond. And it really feels like they really did go from I guess you could say mild rival, a mild rivalry. I don't know what's the word or frenemies, to now be guys who obviously it was the enemy of my enemy is my friend, but you really do feel them really getting very fond of each other.
Of a beautiful friendship.
Yeah.
Well, what they had, I would argue, what they had, and it comes from the second match. There was no way that either of them was not going to respect the other. They might not like each other going forward, but Apollo could not but respect Rocky after the second match, and Rocky always respected Apollo. He just kind of resented the way Apollo, treated him, but he always respected him. Yeah, but Apollo respected Rocky after the second.
The promo for the rematch when they're like, "Hey Rocky, what do you think of all this?" And Apollo's like, "I gotta whoop his ass." Also, Rocky's like, "Oh, he's a good fighter."
Yeah, exactly. This is where we find out just how much Apollo respects Rocky and how much he dislikes Clobber.
Yes.
Clubber.
No.
Yes.
Yeah, Clobber. Right.
Clobber. Doesn't matter. Pound him into the mat. I mean, call it whatever you want, Rocky. He's still an animal.
That was good, dude.
So if the streets of San Francisco looked this bad then, I hate to think what they look like now.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, they don't smell as good now.
Yeah.
Oh,
I think it's San Francisco, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. So
I thought it was LA. I thought it was LA.
I think it's LA. Yeah, I think it's LA. That's not much better either.
Yeah, 40 years ago, and they're all standing. So I don't want to imagine where they're at now.
So this is where you possibly would have trouble writing this now because Paulie does the racist bits.
Oh God, yes.
And you wouldn't be able to then rehabilitate such a character in a movie today.
But that's the kind of guy he was, right?
Yeah,
he was he's like the equivalent to
Archie Bunker.
Yeah. Only he's.
But now you wouldn't be able to do that and then have him be friends with these guys later, which he is,
To a point, but
well, they wouldn't be allowed. They wouldn't be allowed to be friends with him later, and he wouldn't have been allowed.
Paulie would have to be destroyed.
See, they subtly allow Paulie to grow as a character too, because you kind of see he grows out of this whole, especially here in this bit, right?
Yeah,
he comes out of this learning to respect them, instead of being that bigoted and racist. From and we know he's coming from a different time. He's coming from a different place. I'm not making excuses for him, but we understood that as a character when we see him. And that's the problem that some of these people watching films, and I feel sorry for anybody who watches a movie like that. I really do. If you really can't get past yourself, and I see the hypocrisy, and it's like, okay, how could you? And I'm sure there are people out there who feel the way you guys just explained by watching this and going, oh, I just can't watch this now because Paulie is just such a racist fucking character. But then they'll turn around and they'll put in American Psycho, and they love Christian Bale in the film.
Well, it's reminiscent of a thing I went through with my dad.
And for those who just got that joke, but yeah,
I got it. Yeah, it's. But back in like the 70s, my dad would get upset if there were gay characters or stuff in TV shows like Barney Miller. And then, I go, but they exist in the world, Dad. They're real, there are real people that are gay, and that was my argument for him. Then years later,
but how did he treat you?
We were returning that argument.
You were his son. Yeah. How did he treat you then?
Oh, shut up.
Yeah, we'd always be watching. Boom.
Yeah,
we'd always be watching.
There's anything wrong with
today
that.
we find ourselves in the same situation, but now it's like we don't like toxic men like this represented in film. It's like, well, there are real toxic people like that in the world. They're real people. They're real people.
Yeah.
So
and the only thing I'll say,
argument.
The only thing I'll say, Tom, is that in this movie, Paulie takes longer his arc takes longer to start.
It took him 3 movies to get this far.
Exactly. He's a slow learner. He proves that at the beginning of this movie. He's a slow learner.
He's holding the radio as a shield. He's got the radio held as a shield.
And if anybody knew old school Italian guys, it would be Stallone, man. Because old school Italian guys were I love them to death. I've known quite a few of them. Pretty racist.
Yeah.
Wait down for $2 says entirely too many bald white guys on
this is
bench.
true.
See, you can't be talking about me because I'm from Scotland. We're not white, we're blue. We started blue.
Wait down for the $2.
And I've got long hair like, not quite as long as Nick was.
Tom, he's bald.
But no, this is where I get so upset when I hear like so many younger people like, oh, I'm dealing with so much racism. It's like, you've fucking never seen racism.
No,
and then I get the other thing.
No,
like,
you have.
How would you know? You're not a minority. It's like, well, motherfucker, because I grew up in a time where people who were not that much older than me came from a different time, and they acted like Paulie does in this movie, for instance. Like, it's not even like they're genuinely going out of their way to be racist. They've just been raised in this society where things were a certain way for so fucking long that a lot of people had to fucking shake it. Right, and it took our generation and other generations to wake those people up. Those are the true woke individuals, right? Like, there's a lot of people that are like old, like some of the people on this panel's father generation and maybe their grandfather's generation, what have you, depending on your age, who were that guy. But you knew they didn't necessarily have a hateful bone in their body, and if they had to save somebody, they wouldn't stop and think about the color of their skin. No, they were just raised in this era where you were kind of just taught these stereotypes and you had to break 100%. Out of them.
Yeah, that's the way it was. Yeah, because in our family, or I could say my mom, my great grandmother, grandmother would sometimes say some not so kosher things, but then people in real life that you'd meet, she's like, oh, I love that person, and he's so nice, and so it's kind of like you're kind of grow up that way, and then you've got to break out of those stereotypes, and they're judging movies or things from 20, 30 years ago, 40 years ago. Where society, that's the way society was, and
differently.
They pretend society doesn't exist beyond 15 years ago.
And Paulie is a character you kind of grow to love anyway, if you think about it, because he's not somebody you really like right away. He's a horrible fucking person in the first movie.
I hated him first movie. I hated him.
It's a nice gag earlier where he's in the pool and he's struggling, and Apollo says to Paulie, can he swim? And Paulie goes, with a name like Rock? That's one of my favorite gags in the movie.
Yeah.
Yep.
He's like, I can't do this.
Dude. Oh, hey, that's an outfit. So Apollo Creed is wearing an outfit
Apollo's
that Mad Mardigan would have pulled. He's wearing a high top. That
Look at that outfit.
See, where's Mad Mardigan when you need him? This is his kind of movie.
Mrs. Richard was like, oh my God, those shorts look bad on girls, and then guys should never be wearing them.
And it's cut off, save this picture for any time anybody talks about any bigotry towards like homosexuality, how people dress, transsexuality. Like, Fuck you, motherfuckers. We were doing it before you in the 80s. We made
Yes.
look
Didn't Madonna
sexy
wear
no
an
matter
outfit
what
like that?
sex you were.
Dude, that's I just that top on Apollo
Top,
Creed.
yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
I know
that
it's
shit
cut
is-
off, dude. Come
The
on.
1980s where men
D-Bud,
and
you can
women
almost
wore
lick it,
mostly the
never mind
same
smell it.
fucking clothes. They all wore shorts that rode up their ass and cut off t-shirts.
Yep.
Apollo Creed rocking the thongs.
D-Bud
And
Martin's
knee-high
got it.
socks.
This was Top Gun. This gave Top Gun a run for its money for the homoerotic
This is true.
homoerotic beach scene.
Just wait
At
till
the,
they get
at the Homoerotic
glistening with
Awards of
sweat.
1980s, this was up against Top Gun and Nightmare on Elm Street 2, and it almost won.
Hey, Tom, which do you think's the top and which one's the bottom?
I don't know. He's the top gun.
Another reason he was called Rock.
Rock bottom.
We'd watch
But
6
I
Feet
am
Under, and then
rock hard.
whenever my dad would walk through the room, we the two guys were always be in bed together. It's like, what are you watching? What's this? What's going on here? Like, would never fail.
timing.
Like, he would always walk through the room whenever the two guys were sleeping together in 6
That's
Feet
right,
Under. It was
Kevin. Tina, we
hysterical.
wore those in the army. That's right.
All right, wait down for another $5. Says now I want an entire stream where Gary has to convince his dad that. Oh my God.
Yeah, right.
Thank you, wait down.
Better still convince your dad
Telling
that
you
he's
I'm not
actually
gay,
gay.
Dad.
Dude, Apollo Cream.
But you gotta be a manly man to make clothes that gay look that good.
Oh my
I'm just
God,
saying.
these
You
comments-
got that
these
right.
comments-
Yeah,
these
you
comments
want
are
to
going on.
say anything
Go
nasty
back
to
to
Apollo
Adrian's
Creed?
face. Adrian looked
Yeah,
jealous. He's
exactly.
like, if she
Even
was
Adrian's
jealous-
uncomfortable. She doesn't know what to think.
Yeah, I can't believe Mad Mardigan's not here for this. Come on.
Yeah.
The homoeroticism
This is the most
going off
toxic
charts.
of the Rocky movies. Seriously.
Yeah.
You got the
And then-
homoerotic scene. You got
Yeah.
Clubber Lang being toxic all across the board. Like, it's perfect.
And Adrian's got to
toxic
give him
to-
permission to win.
And toxic
again,
to
right?
Adrian.
And they
Yeah,
got
because
her
they-
dressed frumpy as shit. Look at them on the beach, and they're just barely
She's
wearing
saying,
nothing.
Rock, if you want to kiss Apollo, just do it. Stop lying to yourself.
Oh, my face.
Pretty sure that's what she
I
said.
know
though.
my face is hurting too from laughing so much.
At least
just
it would have
can't
been
believe
real,
she's-
Adrian.
Yeah, he's sitting there in tank
And
top
as this-
and tight shorts.
I gotta give Adrian
my top.
I gotta give Stallone credit for writing this scene because this is the scene where Adrian saves the day.
Yeah, she's
Yeah.
got the best stuff, I think, in this scene that she's got in
know.
any of the movies.
But what the fuck is she wearing? I mean, she's at the beach.
She's
Yeah.
wearing his towel.
Well,
that
she's
he's
obviously a flasher, Tom. She just hasn't found the right person to
Well,
unbutton
and
in
Rocky
front of.
and Paulo are practically naked, and she's just.
I know.
This is one of the most
She-
important
Oh,
lines in the
see,
movie
your
here.
wolf was
I'm
dangerous.
afraid, all right. Yeah.
She needs
Your
to let
dog
the
is
puppies
getting
out.
turned
She's on
on
the
by
beach.
that. I
I
heard the
can't
dog
get
bark.
it up anymore, Adrian.
I'm afraid. Apollo's
I'm
a big
afraid.
guy.
I'm afraid if I
Too
put
many
it in, it ain't
steroids.
coming out again. You know what I mean?
Hey, at least he compliments me when I go to the beach and wear these things. You don't
At
say
least
nothing.
he gets his boobs out of the beach.
He dresses up when we go out. Look at you.
Look at his tight shorts. You don't wear the shorts like that.
Why aren't you wearing tight shorts? Sometimes I get the feeling
This
you
is
just
the
not
director's
supporting me.
cut. Rocky 3, the director's cut. The way Stallone intended it.
Okay, you broke Nick Weiser.
Oh, I swear, I'm not crying.
You can't win, Rocky. Why you gotta be so negative all the time?
D-Bud, you're killing it. You're killing it.
But I pity the fool.
You're like, that doesn't go with those shorts. And I'm like, I don't care. Look at what Apollo's got on. He's not matching.
Is that the way you treat for Clubber? He ain't gonna kiss you. Well, I wish you would, Mick.
I wish you would, Mick.
What's up,
Maybe
George
we'll
Scipio? You came in at a great time.
Mick is cheese. Sweet like cheese.
Oh, if there's a director's cut, there needs to be one for this one because hopefully it's an extended beach scene.
That's right.
The entire film is at the beach. The fight was a dream.
Rocky 3, the musical on the beach with extended volleyball.
It'll be Apollo teaching Rocky how to hold better in the ring.
Oh man!
It's the movie where Talia Shire's
dude,
character.
I
really love you when you're back at home and not here.
What do they call it when a woman gets cucked? What is that called?
Cocked.
Married?
Married. I was just saying married.
It's like she has to deal with the fact that he's in love with Apollo.
Well, married 20, 30 years ago prior to the woke age. I mean, I'm kidding. Of course.
Now they're getting close. They're in the rhythm. They're using the rhythm method there.
I wish we could go back to the beach again. It's so romantic.
Nah, they're going to the pool now.
I may have to do a clip of this one for a video, just of this particular.
Hey, yo, Apollo, why do you keep taking me to the YMCA?
Even Paulie's got his guns out.
Rocky.
All right.
Look at that glistening flesh.
They're gonna match now.
And Apollo already has that perfect mustache.
That's right. All he needs is a construction worker outfit or something.
Exactly.
Perfect.
Or cop.
Not a cop, yeah. He'd be the cop.
Chili Chow, you just missed a few classic minutes of toxic.
This is gonna be what you're
Rewind
watching
later.
the entire replay of.
Yeah, and there's Duke there. He doesn't need to have his top off. He's not in the ring.
Rocky asked him to take his top off.
For? Oh well, you guys are doing it.
Yeah, it's too hot in here.
Why is she dressed so horribly in this film?
God.
It's like she stole Mickey's wardrobe.
The only one that doesn't have a top off is the woman. Yeah,
And the irony of this entire thing is, of course, Stallone got the name the Italian Stallion from the porn.
that's right. Yeah, the soft porn.
I thought they just called it that after the fact.
Okay.
Oh, who knows?
I
thought it had some
but
other
that was what we
weird
heard back
name.
in the day.
Well, it had some other stupid name before that because it was like.
Oh, that I saw one part where it said "move your head." That looked really. That sounded bad.
Well, this is
look
montage
at Rocky's
number
top
2.
there.
Is
Yeah,
this
look
montage
at-
2?
Rocky's wearing the yes, and look, Rocky's wearing the top now too, right? See?
Oh man,
Look at that
Crop
glistening flesh.
He's got that
now
white
he's got his
beater
shirt
on.
back on, but
Cut
he
off
likes
white
him in
beater.
his top.
He is just a
He
mesh
gets to look
top
at
away
smile.
from a dance club.
Duke
at
is
this point.
happy. Ooh, Rocky looks so good in that top.
I think you look better in
We're
mesh.
gonna have some fun later.
Look at those man boobs.
You gotta read this one.
If you
Nick.
wear
gotta
mesh,
read
it makes
the
your
super
nipples
I
hard.
will. All right, sorry. What?
Just like your muscles. And if you got
But
hard
they-
nipples and hard muscles, you got
Paulie,
the eye
get
of
in
a
the
tiger,
pool.
man.
Get
And he's
wet,
pulling
Paulie.
Paul into the hot tub now too with him. Oh my
Get
goodness
wet,
gracious!
Paulie.
I love how Apollo has to slow down to let Rocky win.
He used to stand. He used to walk.
Okay.
They had to
dude,
shoot
look-
it in
look at his
slow
hair.
mo so
Look
you
at
can
that
find it
hair.
more believable.
Look at his eyes. He looks
Do it,
so-
Nick. Do it.
All right. The Jack of all casual 199 says Rocky Bulge Boa versus Hammer Wang.
Yeah, here we go. Apollo Creed going half speed.
Apollo Breed.
Come on, Italians are fast.
I guess we'll say, well, you know, Drew is huge, and the bulge always takes up the space, so I'll take the bulge.
Depends whether you're going for quality or width.
Now, do you remember this, Tom? That right after this movie, he started talking about doing
There you
a
go.
biopic about Edgar Allan Poe, where he wanted to play Poe.
Thank you, Jack. Anyway,
Yeah,
look
that
at
never
God.
went
Sit.
anywhere. But
Because
yeah, I
not
remember
many
that,
people
yeah.
know that Edgar Allan Poe was an athlete. And
Hey,
ran
Adrian,
He was,
I found the one.
Well,
Adrian, I found the
Adrian,
one.
look,
He's the
we're
right
looking-
one. It's really
We're in
working
love.
out.
Look at us, we're in love.
It would help
If we
if
go a
Stallone
little
wasn't
farther in the
shorter
water,
than-
nobody can see us kiss.
It would help if Stallone wasn't so short compared to Carl Weathers. It would look
And
so
if we
bad.
go far
Yeah.
up, then nobody can see us touch dicks.
Just the tips. Yeah, what do they call that when you insert the end into the other one?
I don't know. What do they
Docking.
call
That's
it?
what they call it,
Gary?
docking.
Tell us, Gary.
Oh, dude, they're holding hands together. Like, oh, it looked like they were.
I will tell you 70s.
Well, I want to know.
I'm getting all
that-
hot and bothered
There we
here.
Spark of electricity between them there.
Look at that. Oh my god!
You know what that is? You know why it comes off so awkward? It's because neither one of them will go under. It's
That's
like,
right.
Yeah, exactly on the same level. Exactly.
That's what it is. No, it's because he's like, I ain't fucking gonna let you have your arms up over mine. Well, I'm not gonna let you have your arms up over mine.
That's right.
Oh my god! Look at the fake. He's like, you guys and your homoeroticism. I don't care.
Streams were definitely crossed there.
Yeah, that's where the homoeroticism went out the window because every gay guy's like, that's not how you hug.
Bang. From here to eternity.
Grab those hips, honey. You grab those hips.
Should have laid
Grab
down
those
in the surf.
hips.
Oh, that
I will
this
go
is how close
15
they are.
rounds
He
with
gave
you.
him his short.
for him now.
He's
I
the
want you
short
to-
one in the relationship, so
I
that
want
means
you to
Apollo
sniff
has to take
these.
the tall.
I want you to sniff
That's
these.
all it is.
I would
can't
say
wear your
I
clothes.
went the distance.
I went the distance twice.
Dude, oh, look at that, those
That is the
eyes.
favor, yeah.
He is
Yeah,
like,
that's
you
love
better
right
wear my
there, man.
shorts.
That's love.
I gave you that
You
shit.
owe me a favor. Oh my god!
What favor?
What's the favor gonna be now? He must be getting
I
Rocky
can't
must
wait
be
to
getting
see
pretty
this.
nervous, right? Yeah.
Nah,
I
for real
can't
though.
tell you, but here's some cream that you need to keep on you.
Yeah,
No, the
here's
favor is I'm not using any cream.
They try to humanize Clubber Lang in this scene by, I don't hate, Balboa, and it just
Pity
you know,
the fool.
it's like they try to humanize him in the scene, but it's too late.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
we've already
the
seen
damage was done.
Yeah, as a character.
But dude, right? They're wearing each other's underwear now. Like this is peak. Like this
Yeah,
may
I
actually
know.
this may actually compete with Top Gun. Now I think about it, this may actually compete. With
Oh, totally does.
They
Dude.
should have
There's more-
recut that
there's
with the
far
Chariots of
more-
Fire music, as Hungry in the chat says. Chariots of Fire music to that bit would have
Oh,
been
yeah.
perfect.
Well, there's far more homoeroticism in this film than there was in the other film. So,
Oh.
yeah, this is definitely the gayer of the films.
It's the gayest of all of them.
Stay out of my face, chump. Rocky's mine.
That's right.
It reminds me of that
My bad.
Eddie Murphy joke, Oh, that's
Oh,
right.
I was trying to
Stick it in.
avoid a lot of them.
Better be
but
careful,
yeah.
boy. Pinch my butt cheeks together and pinch it on.
Me and boy. Won't you do
I
something
half
for me?
expected Clubber Lang to say, "I'm your worst nightmare," and I won't finish
bend
that
over.
quote.
When I bend over, I want you to fuck me.
Yeah.
Fuck me up the ass.
Don't
Hey,
go too fast.
I'm not gay, all right? I have a relationship with women and sex in bed. You know
Then
what I
there's the
mean?
other Rocky bit you got to avoid with Eddie Murphy because that one gets a little too.
Which one's that?
The Eddie
A little
Murphy-
too on the nose.
Oh, the
Italians, after they
when
see
go see
Rocky,
movie,
oh
yeah.
god, they get fired up.
That was off his first album, wasn't it? Or was it second?
That was
one?
off of Raw. Or no, wait, yeah, no,
Was
that's
that
Raw.
Delirious or Raw?
Raw because
It was Raw. Okay.
because I think it because the whole bit with the fuck me up the ass is in Delirious.
Right.
And then in Raw, he's like, I was at a party and somebody's like, Mr. T's looking for you. I'm like, oh shit.
Yeah. Michael Jackson's looking for you.
Just wait.
So?
I get there. It's like I'm like, maybe well, Mike's not the brightest guy in the world. Maybe I can use the Jedi mind trick him on him or something. He'd be like, I heard you did some jokes about me. No, you didn't. I guess I didn't. I'm gonna go beat up the fool that told me them lies.
Jedi mind
There's
trick.
another party and they're like,
Fucking
Michael
brilliant.
Jackson's looking for you, and I'm like, so.
I know.
I'll fuck Mike up. He don't weigh but $1.05. I'll moonwalk up and down all over your ass.
Clubber against Rick James. I like that.
Oh my face! I'm seriously.
Yeah, I gotta bring this back to boxing for a minute for
Yeah.
the first three movies. What Apollo's trying to do with the dancing, the bouncing, and we didn't see a lot of it, which is okay, but it was all of that stuff in the gym after Adrian had her pep talk, was that Rocky turns into a boxer. Not much of a boxer, but enough of a boxer to confuse his opponent.
It's great the way they grow. He grows as a boxer.
Yes.
That's
Yeah, 'cause
fantastic.
He has to
And
learn
the
to
way
fight
I- the way-
right-handed
the way
in one
I-
film
Go ahead.
or left-handed. He has to fight left-handed. Learn how to fight that way. And in this film, he has to learn because he's a flat-footed boxer. You know,
Yes.
because I boxed too. You remember that red shirt?
Yes.
And the fact is, he styled that after I can't remember it was
Rocky?
Marciano.
Marciano.
Yeah, Rocky Marciano. who fought flat-footed.
Yes.
There was no dancing. It was moving in and hitting, getting in low and getting inside. And so he used that skill. But then, like in the second film, he had all the problems, and Mick had to teach him to fight with his other hand.
Right.
And it was great, And now this film, he has to learn how to dance and move.
It brings a smile to your face when you're watching this.
Yeah, he has to swim. He has to do all these like odder things that he's not used to doing.
And for the first time,
you nailed it. Redshirt, you totally nailed it. The growth as a boxer is what's interesting about the trilogy.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing here is that many times, and I watched Roy Jones Jr., who was a master at this. He gets swung at, and he just moves his head out of the way. Something he's never been able to do before as a boxer.
It make you smile. It's
make a miss.
I'm smiling away.
Yeah, he made him miss. And he's learned how to counterpunch. There's all kinds of boxing in this that is, I mean, for most boxers is basic. They learn it in, the first few years as an amateur. They don't learn it as a professional. So they certainly don't learn it as the world champion or ex-champion.
Yeah.
But he's got to learn it because even Apollo's like, he can't stay in there with this guy. He's dead meat. Apollo agrees with Clever. So he says, look, I got to teach you how to take this guy apart. And he only gives Rocky, by the way, there's a line in the movie, I think at the pace Rocky's going to have to go, he can only last about 6 rounds. So we got to get him out fast.
Yeah.
Yep.
He
knows
had to strategize
Rocky,
with this guy.
Yeah, he's strategizing. Rocky's strategy was, well, they hit me in the head and I don't go down and then I punch him back.
Yeah, right, exactly.
I like the fact this isn't going to go the distance, so it makes the movie different.
I'm going to wear
this
him
one
out.
Ain't going to go the distance. We know that.
Right.
It's great.
We know that. It's neither of these guys can possibly go the distance if this fight isn't just a repeat of the first fight.
Exactly. And
the
way,
best
did you
thing.
notice, Redshirt.
Yep.
Just a quick question: did you notice that this is the first film that uses a more obnoxious punching sound?
Yes.
That is it's the most unrealistic thing for me in all the fight scenes. Is just
It might be that it's also the first Rocky film to be in stereo too. I think.
Okay.
It might be very well the reason. But please continue, Redshirt. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
I mean, if I were, I'm not going to score this bout like a referee round by round, but if I had to score this fight, it would starts out Rocky becomes enough of a boxer to confuse him. And then Rocky gets angry at him, and there's a great line where Apollo goes, he's losing it. He's forgetting what I taught him. And he goes, no, he's getting angry. And he is. And when he gets angry, he starts taunting the guy, but he makes him miss about half the time. So he's not taking the full punishment, but he's making a guy wear himself out throwing bombs.
Oh my God.
And every bomb he misses is tiring.
Wears you out. Yes.
Yes. And finally, when he's finally got him so psyched out that he can't even see straight, he's just walking in and throwing punches. He's breathing heavy.
He's actually using strategy. Yeah, he's great.
He's using strategy for the first time in his career as a boxer. It's brilliant.
Guys. He taught him how to take a hell of a pounding.
Look at this.
I do want to address the whole Raging Bull comparing it to Rocky thing. This is what Raging Bull should do to Rocky, because if it wasn't for Rocky, Raging Bull would have never happened.
That's right.
Right.
There's a lot of connections to that. So
it doesn't take a man to stand in there and get his head beat off, but Rocky's not getting his head beat off the way he did when Apollo was taking him apart.
Yeah. Red shirt, you just said beat off.
Yeah. Where are you on that one?
TP for my bunghole.
Down. Where are you on that one, Wake Down? You missed that one. Fucker.
He'll clip it later. Trust me.
He's probably going to clip all this shit.
He's going to be clipping everything out of here. We're never going to see the end of this stream.
I love this. He starts taunting him.
Yes, tapping him on the forehead. Oh, my God.
There you go. He's
Paulie
not
holding on to that gun.
There's
There.
your line, yeah.
Rocky's face.
Oh, that's a new bonding coming on here, guys. I'm telling you.
Oh, I love
Somebody's going out for a drink after the match.
when he grabs him by the face and shoves him. I fucking love that when Stallone does that.
Look at Rocky here. Hit me harder. Hit me harder. Come on.
Harder.
Harder.
Oh, I know what I'm doing.
And the other one is, if you notice, Rocky in the previous matches with Apollo, we watched Rocky's head get battered. Yeah. In this one, he has a glove up. He's blocking punches.
Protects himself there.
There he is.
Yep.
And that position is blocking these roundhouses that Clubber throws.
Right.
And now, granted, you don't want to get hit with that like for fun. That still hurts.
I take it
but
back.
it doesn't do what a flush punch
there.
does.
So his mother must have beat him up quite often because Clubber doesn't hit nearly as hard as Rocky's mother. And now we know why Rocky can take such a hard hit so often, and it just makes so much more sense now. So it was actually Rocky's mother that made him the man he was. There, I smell
that
prequel. I smell prequel.
Yeah, I think you could have a prequel. Yeah,
you're talking to Marissa Tomei's people, but then again, aren't we all?
Oh, man.
He's lifting right off the canvas. Wow.
Longer, harder.
He learned that from Hulk Hogan.
More hugging.
Yep.
Oh, you guys are nuts with these comments in the
who
chat.
made Rocky the man he is. This Christmas, Marissa Tomei is Mrs. Balboa.
Rocky's mom. Mrs. Balboa.
I can't do it, Mom. I'm scared. It's okay, Rocky. You can get up for school. Come on. Get up, Rocky. Get up. I can't do it, Mom. I can't do it.
Oh, my God.
What would her nickname be as a fighter?
I don't know.
Oh, Lang is very confused here. He doesn't know what's happening.
He looks dazed and confused right there. He's like, what?
Yeah.
Come on, we're supposed to have an in and out burst. Now you're lasting longer with me?
Rocky's dancing with me.
He's dancing. He's holding my hand.
The oil. They're so oiled.
And that I mean, I have seen that happen to boxers on their first defeat.
Rocky's not looking. Paulie, come here. Let me give you a big smack on the face. Look at all
the gay love in this movie. Holy
Told
shit.
you they're going out for drinks after the match.
And now Paulie finally feels validated after 3 movies. Someone loves me.
It's the truth.
Someone actually loves Paulie for once. What the fuck?
Michael Keaton.
Oh shit,
Mr. Mom.
Well, in today's Hollywood, it would have to be Brie Larson.
No.
Yeah, they would gender swap Rocky with a woman.
No, Brie would be beating up Rocky as his mom because
and he'd deserve it because he's toxic and a bad boy. Doesn't listen to
I'm
his
gonna
mother.
stick with Marissa Tomei.
I think Tom, I'm with you, but I just don't trust Hollywood.
No, I get you. Yeah, my version actually makes fucking sense. As bad as it
that's
would
why it'll never happen.
As bad as it would come out in the end, it still makes fucking sense.
And that's why it'll never happen because it would actually make sense.
Tyson kissed his manager in the middle of his fight with mid-screen. Art imitates life. Oh my god. Oh. Apollo's just trying to make Rocky more jealous and more aroused.
He's just trying to get him in a 3-way. So what Rocky needs to do, what they should have done in Rocky 4 is Rocky should have claimed he was a woman and gone and won the women's title.
Oh,
that would have been a better plot.
Darth Scipio.
Well, that's a yes. That's a yes on that question, Darth. Yeah, we talked about it before. He's
definitely
like
Darth Scipio.
Here.
He looks exactly like a middleweight in this film.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah, he's definitely in middleweight mode for this, especially when
he's 201 pounds according to the script.
Especially when he's fighting Hulk Hogan.
Yeah, that was the earlier fight, Gary. I think they said at this one he was 190 or something, or 189.
190 to 195.
There was, it was less in this rematch than he was in the first when we lost.
But in real life, he was
makes,
down to.
now,
it was real life. He was down to
That'd be light
155.
heavyweight.
155. By the way, it does make sense because
middleweight.
Because what Apollo wanted him to do was be faster. Faster's lighter. Heavier's not faster. So if Apollo was training him to run on the beach, dance around a ring constantly, that's all aerobic exercise. He wasn't lifting weights. He wasn't building muscle. He should be lighter. It makes sense. But Sylvester Stallone was 40 pounds lighter than that.
Hold on, guys. Heading to the Turkish baths.
Before you do, Toxic Man Flooper, $5.
Look how oiled up they are. They look so hot.
The middle of the balls for $5.
Cool.
Thanks, Tox.
24/7.
Dude, they're look at their boots and they know how to match up to.
They're dressed up to dance.
They're really good.
They
couple.
are. They have come to dance.
Guys, let's Twitter ship this tonight. Rocky Apollo. Let's ship this tonight.
So I didn't expect this panel to go this way tonight, did I?
What?
We did find out who won this.
Go back.
Eventually,
go back.
Tom,
what
we found
was
out
that?
who won
A
that
Rocky?
fight, didn't we?
What was
That's
that?
a
Rocky's
codpiece.
crotch.
That's the codpiece.
I think Rocky implies that Apollo wins it.
Yeah, there's an implication
He
that
does.
Apollo
In
wins.
Creed,
Yeah.
in the Creed movie, he implies that he wins. Snail Messiah.
Was it the first one or the second one? I can't remember which. But yeah,
I think it was the third
implies-
Rocky Balboa, I think. Oh no, was it in Creed? It was the first Creed.
It was one of the
Rocky
Creed
Balboa.
movies.
Creed movies. Ding ding dong.
It'd be Creed, yeah.
Oh, now that we
Oh
are
shit, we're
oiled.
already at the end of the movie. I wasn't even going to hang out this long, but yeah.
I love it ending on the punch.
You made it, Tom.
You just
That's
couldn't
how-
draw your eyes away from
You
that
went the
male
distance.
It's my birthday on the East Coast.
Oh.
Oh
Happy
shit,
birthday.
guys.
Well, happy birthday on the East Coast, Tom.
Yeah,
Tom's so wide he has an East Coast and a West Coast.
This is true.
happy East Coast birthday, Tom.
I got a
You're-
zip code,
Yes.
everything.
Happy birthday, Tom.
Thanks, guys.
What's it like to be
42, I know everything.
42? You're 42.
Life, the
Actually,
universe, and everything.
I have the answer for everything now.
You are now 42. Cool.
And there's
One
the
more year
painting.
before I forget it all.
Nice.
Well,
I
how do
remember
your
that.
alter egos feel about that? How's William Shatner feel? How's Godfather? How's Batum or Kermit Tom feel?
Leroy Neiman. How an artist.
I feel old.
Need some Red Knox 5?
Yes.
I don't know anything about this turning of 42. I'm only 27 years old in my country. So this is news to me. I'm Batman and I'm only like 32, so I'm nowhere near as old as this fucking white dude.
Yes, but back, Tom, are you going to Tom's party?
I gotta sing him the birthday song, don't I? It's kind of my job.
Sing it for him now.
Andre wrote me earlier. He's like, "Are you coming?" I'm like, "Are you fucking kidding me? I'm
I
gonna
don't
miss
think you're
that."
supposed to be telling Tom anything about this.
Isn't there supposed to be foreplay first?
No, they just get right to it here.
Yeah, the ding.
No,
ding with
before you're coming.
No, before you're coming.
Do not come.
Simple kiss would suffice.
Do not come.
wear pants.
Do not come.
So it's just
Rushing
There's
right
no-
into the
there's no delay
to the
in
vagina.
access.
The
Monty
mangina
Python.
in this case.
Oh,
Well, I thought you were doing
Zan
Monty
Zoltan
Python.
says it's already
How about
your
the kiss,
birthday
boy?
in his country. So Tom, you're already in his country. Yeah, hail to Zen Zoltan all the way from Argentina. And he tells you, and Rob Alta says, "Do not come." So I guess that means
You spelled that wrong.
No, he spelled it correctly.
Oh, guys, Wake Down here says, you all know I'm semi-retired from any, but y'all are going to really make me rip the straight meme. You all are that mad. Wake Down, I'm calling you out.
I
I'm
read
calling you
that
out
wrong
to
at
do
first.
your
I
work.
thought he said
Wake
semi-retarded.
That's what I thought too. But I will say this: he sent me something.
Yeah.
Semi-erect.
He's going to remiss all harder.
Something.
I thought, yeah.
My
Do
bad.
your worst. Do your worst, Wake
Thanks
Down.
for
I
making.
want to
He
see
made
it.
me laugh probably not quite as much as Tom did tonight.
Because I do a lot of editing too, so I can understand how he could feel semi-retarded. I mean, after a while, you just...
What's up, Clobby? Clobby will be on next
We've
week.
been talking about
Clobby's
you
gonna
all
be on
night
next
tonight,
week's
Clobby.
show.
Well, Red Shirt was talking about you all night. Kept saying Clobby tonight.
Yeah.
Oh,
Clobby Lang.
Yep.
Yeah, this is the gayest
Wang,
fucking movie
perhaps.
I've ever seen. That wasn't two men actually
See,
having gay
no,
sex.
this was diversity and equity and inclusion right here.
It
It checked
was.
all the boxes. You had a strong, you had a strong wife, a strong female, very supportive. You had very strong black men all over the place. One that was a straight up killer, one that just wanted to help his friend. And he obviously they were all bigger men. They were all very big men. So
how big, Nick?
Okay, what are you getting at, Nick? I'm getting worried now. Is it the girth or the length that you're referring to?
Oh, I was going to lead to the girth. I had to grow into it, but you beat me there. So, yeah, no, dude, this movie was so representative. It really was. Like, seriously, Brokeback Mountain has nothing on this movie. Because you know why? That movie is racist for having 2 white men in it.
Yeah,
that is.
Therefore, Brokeback Mountain is a racist, very, very patriarchal movie. This movie is the real representation.
I think Thunderlips felt left out at the end of this movie too, right? He didn't get in on the
the biggest man. Yeah, he had to. He got cucked.
Yeah,
Thunderlips got cucked in this movie. He really got cucked.
He just had to go home with
Thunderlips.
all. He just had to go home with all of his ring girls.
Yep.
AKA the love slaves.
Yes.
That's what they call them, the love slave.
I always thought it
shouldn't
was
have
funny
assumed their
because his
gender,
name is
Richard.
Thunderlips, and when he does the thing with his lips, it really looks like a gay camel.
Oh, Frank Stallone was one of the opponents in one of those montages when he's fighting here. If you look at that,
Apparently, yeah.
yeah.
That's
See?
crazy.
Does anybody remember when he
this
did
guy didn't
matches
show up. Get in
on
here,
Howard
get your ass
Stern?
kicked. What'd you say?
Does,
Sorry.
does anybody remember that when Stallone, his brother, went on Howard Stern and would do boxing matches? He did like 2 or 3 of them.
No.
Oh, he did? No, I don't remember that.
Yeah, this is back before he expanded. It was in the 90s. I was hoping one of you fuckers remember. Fuck you guys.
I've been ignoring Howard Stern for decades.
Same here.
It's okay.
least
But
a
we
I
got
never
this
liked
scene
him.
together.
I've never
Guys,
liked him. Don't think it, but I wanted to watch it because Frank Stallone was on, and that's why I watched. So I
But this is
thought
the
it
only
was cool.
thing
He
that
tried
matters.
boxing. He tried
All right.
really boxing.
So I
tried
picked
really
this as
boxing.
I picked this as my background before the stream started. I guess I knew something would happen when this scene started. That's my
When the
background.
electricity flew.
The wife is going to come in the morning. Why do you have 2 guys on your background screen?
I got something to tell you, honey.
And why is one of them Sylvester Stallone?
Oh man! All right, chat. This is the part where you give out your scores. We're gonna add an extra score. So I want your toxicity score, I want your greatness score, and I want your gayness score or your homoeroticism score. So whatever you want to call it, I want to see all the scores in the chat, and we'll have the panel go off about this one. So Mark, you're the man who controlled the boards. Why don't you go first?
All right. So yeah, I'm responsible. Yeah, I guess with all those photos. Yep. But yeah, so I give this movie 9.5. Yeah, great. Another good sequel. Yeah, usually like everyone's been saying, the third movie falls apart or sequels get boring, but this is awesome seeing the movie theater the first time. You got Thunderlips, Hulk Hogan. You got all those great, the great music. Eye of the Tiger is just a, awesome song. Gets you going, makes you want to go to the gym, right? So it's got everything, right? And Stallone is just such a smart guy too. You can see, everyone's right. I think it gets overlooked with all these great lines, all these quips in the movie, and it's really well written, and of course Mickey passing away, that hits home. We had a lot of fun, joking with this movie tonight, but it's really got a great life message, especially Rocky yelling at Paulie, like, basically get a life, I don't owe you nothing, you got to make it on your own, help you a little bit, but, you got to make your way. And, of course we don't hear enough of that right now. So,
Burning us, perhaps. I got a burning arse.
Yeah. So where was I? What was the second one? Toxic? Are we doing toxicity tonight?
Yeah, we're doing toxicity overall, and then gayness.
Yeah. So a toxicity, I guess. Yeah, not too bad. Like a 6. Maybe Adrian is a little toxic too, right? Making telling Rocky needs his her approval to win, right? And I guess we're doing the homoeroticism. I guess this is a 10, right? I mean, only equaled by Top Gun. I guess the first scene in
I'm beginning to
in Top
think
Gun
this surpasses it.
Yeah, but I think this we're missing Tom Cruise in this movie, but yeah, so I'm going. I'll stick with a 10.
Tom's actually just out of shot underneath their arms there, in the middle of them.
Tom's part of the Burning Heart together. He's. Oh man!
This almost killed everyone tonight. This band.
That's how the Burning Heart was formed, right there in that image.
This is seriously a toxic Tuesday for the ages.
Just about to burst.
Whoa, what? Oh, all right, Michael.
It's a burning heart.
Yeah, I made it through. Baseball. Think baseball.
Baseballs.
I made it.
All right. Well, Tom,
I can think of is 2 balls in a bat.
We'll let the birthday boy go next. Talk about your scores and your thoughts. Scores and thoughts.
Overall, shit, it's a great flick. So at least an 8 or a 9 out of 10. What was the other scores? Gay level, like a 7.
Oh, he wants more.
Well, it could be gayer. It's pretty high up there.
Tom wanted more.
I wanted more.
I don't know if gay is
I'll
the right
address
word.
that
Homoerotic is the word.
Just to be honest with you, a movie that doesn't have at least a couple of gay thrusts in it doesn't get an 8. It doesn't. I reserve that for movies like Nightmare on Elm Street 2.
And stuff like wait a minute. The kiss didn't do it for you, Tom?
There was an interracial kiss, so as far as the toxicity level in this movie, the gayness, all that business.
Oh, there was also ageist kiss. Remember,
this is like Mick. A -8 on the toxicity level, because this is one of the most wokest films before wokeism ever existed. There's tons of gay interracial love between bigots and black men galore. There's tons of big black cock in this film. I mean, tons. I mean, take your pick. If you're not into Apollo, you've got Clubber Lang, for fuck's sake. And if you like the quiet guys, Apollo's got a whole crew.
Oh my God.
He does not diversify at all.
Nope.
Not Apollo. No. So, but yeah. Why is that? That's okay. He can have all black guys in his crew, but nobody says shit.
Well, when it comes to love, Apollo doesn't discriminate, because not only did he obviously get all over Rocky, but when Rocky wasn't looking, he laid a fat one right on Paulie.
Yeah,
so I say he's trying to get him in a 3-way. That's all this is, a big ploy to get the 2 of them in a 3-way.
That is so fucking. That's like,
I don't even remember what the other scores are supposed to be. On toxicity level, like I said, -10, because there's no toxicity. This is the most woke, loving, man-loving. I mean, there's no male gaze whatsoever in this movie. Did you see what Adrian? She's literally wearing, like I said, she's wearing Mickey's wardrobe in this movie. So.
We had a few ring girls.
And they do us the justice of killing some old crusty white dude. So that's a plus. We get that out of this. This movie is just wonderfully woke, and I'd love to see anybody put any modern day woke movie against this, and this movie would beat its ass anytime.
It would beat it in more ways.
This movie is so woke, it's fabulous.
Oh my God, dude!
It's brave and stunning, and it's a triumph. So, before any of those things meant anything. Oh, there's plenty of male gays in it, just no gays with a Z. Isage.
Beat it
And
or
the
beat
fear,
off.
and the fear. See, this whole thing is the fear that Rocky faces inside is his love for another man, right? He just can't let it out, and then when he learns to let go,
I think it's his love for other men, plural. That's the problem.
well, you know, we think they're about to fight in that last shot, but it freeze frames. There ain't no fighting, but there sure is a lot of fucking going
for the big hug.
Big hug, yeah.
Well, we know we got the tip of it when we got to see them at the beach, and then once the movie ended, that was behind closed doors.
Just the tip.
We'll never know.
Just the tip.
Yeah, they gave us a little nip slip tease with the beach. The boxing at the end was the main course.
Well, just the tip is all that Apollo could get in.
I'm fucking broken.
It's too much, Apollo. Pull back. No, I'm going in, Rocky.
A fitting start to Pride Month, I would feel.
You're right. It's burning.
I want to get away.
That was so creepy to look at. Mark, you
They
bad
were
man.
fighters in the streets, but in the sheets, they were lovers.
Not a fighter.
In a world that kept them apart, they only could love while in the ring.
You loved me too hard last time, Apollo. I'm scared. Trust me, Rock, it doesn't hurt the second time.
Oh my god.
Now, what were we doing? What the hell are we doing here?
What have I said? I don't want to do that
forgotten
no
our
more.
place.
Are we watching Gladiator films next week?
Oh, hell yeah. Hey, Tommy, have you ever watched a Gladiator film? You ever seen a grown man naked?
Are you not entertained?
All I know is next week's flick is gonna have we're gonna have a fun one trying to top this next one. It won't have homoeroticism, but
my cheeks
it'll be
and
great.
jaw are so sore from laughing at you,
I thought it was from
Brown Eye of the Tiger, baby.
I've been on camera the whole show. You know I've not been doing it tonight.
Trust me, Rock. Eye of the Tiger, baby. Oh,
When we first started dating, you had that brown eye of the tiger.
Stinker.
Now you just won't let me go there no more. But I will tell you this: your mouth still works, motherfucker. Right.
Oh, there's a dog too.
Oh, it's the birthday boy. Look at me, so
Happy
cute.
birthday.
And I got a cat. So.
And the dog's adorable too.
Tom.
We had to. Happy birthday, Tom. Even though
Happy
Are you gonna sing?
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday, dear Tom. Happy birthday to you.
All right. Before everyone gets out of here. All right. Thank you, Tom. Red shirt.
All right. Well, Tom has set the precedent, so I am going to be using different scales for this.
Yeah, that. Come on, dude. You got to do better than this. Come on, Tom. Really set a standard,
Okay.
dude. Come
On the greatness, that is going to be my greatness scale. This movie's a 9.0. It is one of the few third movies in a series that actually held its own or even improved on the first two. There aren't many of them. And this movie actually had more humor and sometimes better writing and quite the character arcs for everybody, including Paulie, who finally became less of a racist by the end. Kissed, was having a good time with Apollo. Okay, toxicity. Well,
There's no
Oh,
way
this has
his
got to
dick
be.
didn't go in his mouth.
No, it didn't go in his mouth. Now, this obviously, as Thomas pointed out, has to be rated on the woke toxicity scale. And since I am not woke, I rate this an 8.5 on the woke toxicity scale because it has lots of woke toxicity in it and toxicity of all different kinds. And every character except for Adrian is toxic at one point or another. And for homoeroticism, this is going to have the Spinal Tap amplifier scale. It's the only one that works for this movie because this movie goes to 11.
Goes to 11.
Inches, perhaps?
I don't know. You got to put that up against
or girth.
Too,
11 inches of girth.
That's a tough call.
Hey, Nick, what's 12 inches in white? Nothing.
I get 12 inches, but I don't use it as a rule.
You're using the metric system again.
Yep.
Will that be all, red shirt?
And shit.
That'll be it.
All right, 70s. Go ahead.
Well, I've got to agree with Mark. I'm going to give this a 9.5 as a movie. And watching it again yesterday, and I'd only watched all of the Rocky movies less than a year ago, back to back. So I watch these all the time. I actually almost think I enjoy it the most of all of them. There's just something really enjoyable about it. You know,
it is one of the more rewatchable ones.
Yeah, it brings a smile to your face. Which is,
I know why it brings a smile to your face.
So I'm going to give it 9.5. For toxicity, I would give it an 8. To be honest, I think there's stuff in there that just you couldn't probably get away with now, and it's full of great stuff, great toxic stuff. But for the homoerotic scale, I think I'll give it 10 Martigans out of 10.
Full handy Randy.
A full handy Randy for that one.
Nice.
All right, kill it, dude. Gary.
Jesus Christ. God, man. Why did you make him go first, man? Nick. No, seriously. I wrote him down. I wrote my
stroking you.
Oh, hey, that's nice.
You better change your avatar, Gary, to the other one.
That one went right up the pooper. I liked it.
Ooh, he's a backdoor version.
I gave the film for direction, writing on Stallone's part, and really the overall look of the film. A 9 out of 10. It is my favorite Rocky film. Always has been. The end scene is just one of the things that's ingrained in my mind. It just, I love that ending with it ding, ding, and fucking they both throw punches at the same time and stop. And just the emotional fulfillment I had in the theater when I saw that was just like, I was like a little kid. I was 18, but I felt like I was 12. So I was like, oh my God, squeeing like a little boy. Masculinity, toxicity, whatever that all this stuff is. I give it an 8 out of 10 because it's a very masculine film. It's about man issues. It's sort of like in Rocky 2, where it kind of bugged me that it felt like he needed to get permission from his wife. Whereas in this one, he's fighting for it, even with her, trying to make her understand what it is that he's afraid. And men being afraid is something we've all dealt with. But as far as homoeroticism in it, oh man, I give it a straight 9 out of 10. I mean, my God, the only thing more gay than some of that shit going there is 2 grown men fucking.
There's nothing gay about that.
Well, no, that's just normal.
I don't know where you come from, man.
All right.
That's some fucking gay
He
shit.
comes from Gary. He comes from where there's sheep. Enough said.
That's right. Also, I believe because of some of the scenes, it really came off as Adrian was Rocky's beard.
Beard?
And yeah, you don't know what that means. That's too bad.
Yeah, she's a cover for it.
She's his cover for being gay.
All right. All right.
Thank you,
Gary.
70s. You know your gay
I know my beard.
names, right?
You know your lexicon.
I know my terms.
All right. Well, thank you, Gary. I'm going to read off on these, and I'll give my last but
Again,
not
fuck
least
you, Nick,
on this
for
score.
making us all go after Tom. You son of a bitch.
I know, right. So, Darth Scipio.
birthday boy.
Years. Yeah,
Darth Scipio with movie 7 out of 10. Toxic 5. Gainus 69. And then
69.
I know, right?
You guys know how all the people felt when they had to go after me in the talent show at school.
Yeah.
Darth Scipio, that's some scale you're using there.
Clavi says 9.5 is a good rating, great movie. And then Rob Altus, Toxicity 4.5, overall 9. Gay 9.7564. Vince Womack's movie 7.5 out of 10. Toxicity 3. I don't know where that goes, like gayness something. And then Brian Yoder says Rocky tricks a black man to achieve the superior black boxing secrets. He uses that to beat another black man. The Emperor's created game fashion and culture. K out of 10, great movie. 10 out of 10, Toxicity.
So it's the ultimate racist movie.
The Jack of All Casuals, Toxicity 5, overall 9. Yay! 69 out of 69. Hungry Boy is 8.5 for the Toxicity. As a film 10, Rainbow Ness is a 9. And then Bud is greatness 9 out of 10, Toxicity 6 out of 10, gayness 3 of way. And then weight down, overall score 7 out of 10, concussions, Toxicity 8 out of 10, raging boners, gayness 11 out of 10, top cuts. And then Cavatino, Toxicity 8.5 for pain. I see what he did there. Greatness 7.6 hormones. Oh, and I get it. Hormones, not hormones. 69 6.9 bottles of baby oil. You guys, these comments are insane. Phantom Outsider 9.5 adds several points. We take strange turns from a Hulk Hogan cameo to a remake of From Here to Eternity. Overall, Toxicity 5.5. And all the beach hugging, it was Bolero for a 10.
Bolero.
Oh my god, these comments.
Change the music. Yeah.
My face is
that brings back memory. That brings back memories.
10. Dudley Moore.
You guys are killing me with these comments. Zan Zoltan 9.0 Toxicity said homoeroticism rock and roll on gay levels. You guys are breaking me. And then lots of the Italian Post APOC Barbarian films are 10, 310. Oh, Soul Assassin here says Toxicity 10 out of 10, Broxicity 10 out of 10. And then we had Toxic Man Flu for $10. Says I can't think of a better way to spend a Friday night than oiled up in boxing gear, wrestling with that said he's rock fan who's writing nothing but oh my god.
Even that not for long.
Thank you for for the $10. And then we got the ever so great 6 for $10.69. It says happy birthday tomorrow, Tom. Hi Nick. Thank you for the $10.69.
Wasn't that the Battle of Hastings? For those who know the
And then Flu gives this movie a 7 out of 10. Toxicity level 6. Gayness level Village People.
And we have a new scale.
All right.
That's pretty gay.
All right. So I'm going to give this a 9.1 for the movie scale. Toxicity. This one gets a freaking 69 boners. And then for the gayness, well, it just gets more boners. So this Toxicity is, I guess if we'll get proper, 8 of the boners, 8 full boners, like Apollo Creed boners, if you will. So that's where my score is at. I love this movie with the balance of emotion, the great cast. Obviously, it's a story, the idea of a hero fighter. I always call it hero, but it really is
like a superhero.
Well, there's a lot of heroic moments, but you see what happens when things get to his head, and then his world gets rocked, and now he has to come back. And you see a lot of role reversals of what some guys were. Then I love it. It's great, and yes, lovely. Sherry says unlimited boners. Okay, we'll give Toxicity. We'll give it unlimited boners. I agree, Sherry. And Jacob Ironside says movie 7, toxic 10, fantastic 10. But that's where I'm at with that movie. Anyways, guys, next week's flick. There's a very legendary line in it. Maybe you guys know in the chat. Anyone? I'm going to say, Dick, you're fired.
Oh.
If you don't know that movie.
Well, I know. Well, we already knew, but yeah.
We already
you have 10 seconds to comply.
That's gonna be next week's Toxic
so
Tuesday movie.
So good.
It is a freaking. It's been. I know a lot
Dead or
of people have been
alive, you're
requesting.
coming with me.
A lot of people have been requesting this movie for a long time, and it's finally going to happen. It's
If
gonna
you're
come.
not here to watch, there will be
trouble.
I'll buy that for $1.
So yeah, the chat knows. They know. So,
I have
yeah.
heard this is one of Tom's favorite films.
I don't know. Ask Kermit, Tom, if he
So
knows.
should we
if
invite
that's true.
Tom?
It is my
It's a
favorite.
shame there's no room for Tom on the panel next week.
I know, right?
Oh, it's birthday. We'll give him that as a present, right?
No, I'm pretty sure I'm the one who pushed for this one, if I'm not mistaken.
You pushed hard.
Pushed
Oh, no,
And
Tom
deep.
gave, Tom
And
gave,
deep.
Tom, like,
And
he
long.
spoke in my ear about it, so that's how I knew. Like,
Hey, when
do
he
we
spoke in
have
your ear, was it
Toxic
like this?
Tuesday
I need to move.
without one of the most manliest movies ever made?
We're just pacing
Fucking
ourselves, Tom.
RoboCop.
We're pacing ourselves.
think of all these other
RoboCop.
previous movies. These were all the lubricants we put on so
Well,
much.
we're
That's
doing
how
some
much lube we
synergy
needed.
here, Nick. Not only is RoboCop Toxic Tuesday's movie, it's also our next A-rated B movie.
Oh, wow, dude!
Yeah,
What timeliness! I love it.
right?
That's great.
So,
Well, boys,
a lot of
that
RoboCop.
is or a lot of RoboCop you'll be seeing in the next week. So make sure you catch the A-rated B. A-rated. Sorry, oh my god,
A-rated B movie.
A-rated
B-rated
B movie.
A movie.
B-rated A movie. I always mistake.
I know
that
it's a
title
tough
up.
title, but it's
No, I like it. Don't change it.
talk about
Seriously,
just
keep
about
it
everything we can.
as it should be. So that's we'll let him plug in his plug for that title while he's talking. And guys, it's his birthday.
It is in some places of the world, but thank you guys for having me as always. I love Toxic Tuesday. It's always fun to get to talk about manly movies and hang out with some gentlemen who are only homoerotic or semi-retarded. So
Or
I
semi-erect.
resent that. I'm fully homoerotic.
I thought you were going to say retarded for a minute there. I was going to say, I just didn't want to say anything. But, you are the poster child for homoeroticism.
I
that's
am.
for sure.
That's right.
If it wasn't for
I'm
Gary
semi-homo.
with a J-
I'm semi-homo retarded.
What were you going to say, Joe?
I said if it wasn't for you, Gary, he'd be the topmost of the popmost when it came to the gay charts. But
It's true. It's true.
but Gary knows. Gary knows.
I know a lot. Mhm.
Do I? Tom prefers men clipped. Okay. Less fighting.
He prefers them clipped.
Oh my god!
Clipped in what way?
I was just
Well,
reading.
when they're clipped, you can't dock.
I'm like Anchorman. You don't put shit in front of my face. I'll just read it. Backdoor Geary.
Oh,
with a
see,
G.
that's
Your
that's what
man.
RoboCop never has to worry about a backdoor. He's always the alpha in every situation.
He's
I
like
no
a
It's a
longer
Ken
literal
doll.
poop shooter.
He's like a Ken doll. He's got no genitals of any kind.
Oh,
All right,
we're gonna have some
Tom.
fun with that. So yeah, you know where to find me. If you don't know where to find me, then you don't care enough.
All right, sir. Well, hey, I know you intended to stay for a little bit, but obviously we're having fun, and I guess we all know how that goes when the show's going good. So I thank you for your time. All right, sir.
No
I
worries,
appreciate it. All right. And that's somebody's rock fan. Plug your plugs and make sure and I want you to slide it in and out for me, please.
Oh, it's a white snake.
Spit on
won't
it
take
first.
long. That won't take long. So thanks for having me on, mate. This has been an absolute blast. I think this is possibly the funniest one we've ever had.
I think so.
And the chat were on fire. Absolutely brilliant. I not got much to plug. Oh, tomorrow, tomorrow me and Matt Foulball and hopefully Tom are going to be. Is it tomorrow, Tom? We're talking about The Offer on Foulball's channel. I think it's tomorrow.
Oh, if I can find the time,
If I think 6 p.m. Pacific. I think around about then. 7 p.m. Pacific, one of those. But anyway, it's on Matt Foulball Productions channel.
We have
talking
another
about
episode by
episodes 4 to 6 of The Offer, the greatest show currently on television. So I'll be on that, and Friday I'll be on Foulball Productions, Motherfucker Cocktail Lounge, and that's it really, you know.
Just you hang out with a bunch of...
Tom very kindly let me on Midnight's Edge After Dark tonight, so I hope he didn't regret that, but thank you, Tom.
He's been allowed on there for a while. He's just too modest.
Well, no, I'm usually working. So.
That's all that
I gotta get up at 4 a.m. tomorrow, so there won't be a lot of stuff going on. But if I can catch you on whatever birthday stuff you're doing, I'll get you.
It's just like, yeah, if most people, if I'm not full and I recognize you in the chat, then yeah, you know, it's one thing. But
cool.
No, yeah, you're always welcome. You know that.
Appreciate it, mate. Thanks. Yeah, it was fun. It was a lot of fun. So yeah, that's it for me. So if you want to watch my show on Queen, a replay of it that was on Monday, we had a fantastic show.
I wish I'd have been there for that. But
yeah, I missed it, and I'm so pissed.
Yeah, I did send you the link, Gary. You just didn't.
No, I know it. You gotta send it to me that night.
I'm organized. I plan.
I'm not.
I'll do it on the day. But yeah, Tom, Gary, you guys, we'll do another one. There's tons of room to talk about.
I definitely want to do Genesis and Peter Gabriel.
Oh yeah, we're gonna do that for sure. We'll do Genesis. Yeah. So thank you very much.
You're welcome, sir. See you very soon. And Gary.
Yeah.
I choked on
you. Hey guys,
too close.
Man, I fucking love being with you guys. This is the most fun I have all week. It really is. This episode in particular, man. Seriously, I've not laughed this hard in a long time. The chat, everybody was just on it. Unless you guys know where you can find me, Pop Culture Minefield on YouTube. You can find me at Pop Call Minefield on Twitter because they don't allow the full name because it's too many letters for Twitter. I hope Elon Musk fixes that shit. And this Friday is going to be a cool show. I hope all you guys, Nick, everybody shows up to watch. We're going to have Sarah Frazetta, Frank Frazetta's granddaughter, who
nice.
Is the first in the Frazetta family to take up the mantle of art. And I've worked with her. She's wonderful and absolutely delight. And on top of that, one of the guest panelists will be my daughter, Zoe. She will be there. And
wow.
So it's going to be a fun show Friday.
Nice.
Past that, tomorrow night I'm going to do something with Fat Steven Seagal. It's called Shit Talk with Us. And then, of course, my morning show where I drink coffee and the show ends when I'm done.
Nice. That's beautiful. Well, Gary.
What?
I said it's beautiful.
That's beautiful. Fuck you, Nick.
Well, it's still beautiful anyways. I stand by that.
I love you, buddy.
Yeah, I love you, man.
Get me off the screen, for Christ's sake.
Well, I need to look at you a little longer.
I'm done.
I got to get you off.
Hey, Culture Casino. What? Culture Casino?
I don't know, but maybe we got to get him on.
Or get Culture
Tuesday.
as a guest, maybe.
Oh, dude, I would love to have Culture on. I've been trying to get that man in here so we can, diddle him and everything, but he keeps, I think he's afraid of the toxicity. I think we all got bombard him to come on next week. I will let him slip in here if he slides. So we can only hope. All right, Mark. Sir.
Hey, thank you. Yeah, man, this was nuts tonight. Yeah, I guess I did kind of see the panel going that way, but yeah, a lot of fun. We all need some good laughs, so that was a great time. And thanks everyone. Yeah, fun clipping pictures this week. Yeah, it was all right. Yeah,
we need to see the rest of your T-shirt, mate.
Yeah. What's the T-shirt says? Yeah,
for when you ain't getting in no plane.
Established 1983. Yeah, BA doesn't fly. Yep. So yeah, I've pity the fool, Murdoch. God. So yeah, this is awesome. Love this movie. Yeah, and the whole time, when you think Apollo Creed is tricking Rocky into training him, there he's really just wants that another go round in the ring with Rocky, right? Yeah. What happened after that bell rang? Right.
It's the only time I get to see you.
Yeah. So yeah, it was for yeah, just I can't speak anymore. But yeah, I'll be on tomorrow night with Clobbering Times and Raquel, the Clubhouse, talking Star Trek and other geek stuff, not this homoerotic stuff, but check that out. And Sunday night I got my show, Sunday Night Geekery. Just in toy videos and other stuff during the week, enabling, trying to get people to buy toys and waste money on shit, because what else is there in life, right? So, but thanks for having me on. Out here, I'll post my link in. So, Yep, appreciate any subs and everyone checks out the channel. So yep, looking forward to next week. RoboCop's one of the all-time great movies. So
all right,
gonna be fun.
Killer. All right, Mark. Well, sir, once again, your services are always appreciated, and you added another great touch to the stream with the ridiculous clips, and that added for another stream for the ages. This one's gonna. This is gonna be this. We really may have set the bar with this one tonight. So, guys, that's Mark.
I hope you rate my services highly. You know, I want to get good ratings for.
I want to give you a raise
whenever I perform a service. I hope that it's
Yes,
well,
5 stars.
Well taken. Yep.
5 stars, guys. Mark Do the C. That's his channel. Please get him subs. All right, he loves your subs, like in every way. All right. All right, red shirt, slide in.
Hey, thank you as always, Nick Weiser, for letting me on the highest rated Toxic Tuesday program of all time to date. This has been hysterically funny and a wonderful stream. And let's see, what do I have going on this week? Well, I'm going to be on the MFR Cocktail Lounge on Friday night, and hopefully, happy birthday, Tom. Maybe you'll make it in there for a while and regale us with your presence. Take care, everybody. Have a great night, and I'll be seeing you.
All right, red shirt. Hey, remember, sir, if you want to slide in and out, you know what to do for RoboCop.
I'll be there next week. I can assure you of that.
Oh, good. Good. I like that we keep our homoeroticism very consistent on here. That means we're loyal to each other.
You can slide in and out.
Oh God! You can play some Whitesnake music right now.
Whoa.
Nick,
here I go again on my own.
Oh no! Oh no!
Going
All right.
down the Hershey Road.
The Hershey Road. Oh my God!
Hershey Highway.
Is that Elsa in the box? No, that's Homer in the box. But anyways, guys, seriously, this was a fucking legendary Toxic Tuesday stream. Next week we'll be doing RoboCop. This Friday on the Comic Shot Talk, we'll be doing the part 2 edition of the Batman suits, and I've got a comic review on the First Man book from Andy Smith, and I also have my top 10 acts from Maryland Death Fest, which I was just at this past weekend in Baltimore. So I'll have my top 10 on that as well. It's gonna be huge. It's gonna be fantastic. And I might even slide a little bit of myself into some more meetings soon on Mead with Tom and the boys. So, anyways, guys, seriously, the super chats. Thank you all for your super chats. I mean, from Brian, Six, Tox, Jekyll, Casuals, Wake Down. I appreciate it. To the new subs, thank you. New faces, same faces. You guys are all awesome. I am still amazed that this ridiculous show has been able to be as consistently entertaining as it is. So I appreciate you sliding in and staying with us until it's time to slide out. We'll see you all next week for the next Toxic Tuesday for RoboCop. So until then, this is goodbye, good fight, and most importantly, good night.